What is that?
I give up.
Did you hear that?
I heard it. I thought it was you.
What was that?
Wasn't me.
Yeah, that was me. The next thing auto-started after the open.
Oh, nice. Like I said, what a start.
If you listen to WIOD, the shows in the daytime are better. You never know it by the way that they are promoting the sports and the news and the weather. It's always Hank Goldberg and Sonny Hirsch and Jose Gaki. They ought to know by now. No one gives a crap about any of that. It's the talent that brings in the money. And if that's all they're gonna tout, the talent is losing out. And buddy, if they screw it up, then I'm tuning out. Neil and Rick and Suds are what we're listening for. The ratings have never been better. But all you'll ever see on the TV or on the billboard is the coast or the sports or the weather. It's always Hank Goldberg and Sonny Hirsch and Jose Gaki. They ought to know by now. No one ever listens to that other crap. It's the talent that keeps the place running. And if that's all they're gonna tout, the talent is losing out. And buddy, if they screw it up, then I'm tuning out. Oh, tuning out.
When in doubt, tune it out. Don't do that. Boy, this is the best fried pig I've ever had in my life. This bacon this morning. Man, this is good. And I've discovered that the longer you cook it in the microwave, the longer you nuke it, the crisper it is.
Well, yeah.
So I can feel those tumors just building in my deep in the bowels of my body, you know. Isn't bacon supposed to be, because it's got all these nitrites and nitrates, isn't bad for you?
That's what they say.
And you know what? Ask me if I care.
No.
At this stage of my life, after all the crap I've eaten in my life, who cares? Right?
Right.
Very bad form, though, to start out on Monday morning eating food.
Yeah, that's bad radio.
It is very bad radio, and of course, that's like all that talk about the Myspace. Although I will say...
We're number one, damn it!
Yeah. That December monthly, man. It is scary. I don't think we're going to get 1,000 votes today, Chris. What are we going to do about that?
Oh, we'll do it.
And that's because everybody was watching the Colts beat the Patriots last night. Well, there you go, Neil. Your Patriots lost. Your boy didn't do it. You know something? How did the Dolphins do in the playoffs this year with their brand-new spanking coach, with their 18th coach in the last 4 seasons? How'd they do? They didn't lose any games, like we said. They didn't lose any playoff games. That was a hell of a game. How they blew that lead, I have no idea. But you know what? Takes the pressure off. Chris is very happy. He hates the Patriots.
You know it.
I see there's some other friends I have out there who also hate Tom Brady. You know what? If the media doesn't want to, shower him with affection for next year, I'll fill in. How's that? That's not exactly what the word that was used, but it was like that, you know? I'll fill in. I'll fill the breach. So they lost. Whoopee-doo. You know, and life goes on. It won't change my life in the least bit. See, I feel out of sync here because I usually eat the bacon around 8:45.
Right. You're going to have to set a little reminder or something.
Right.
Time to eat.
That would, you know what that would be? Set a reminder. I mean, it would be...
very nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. At any rate. Okay, let's get the show going here. I got all these numbers. Now, what day did we do we did on Friday, right?
Well, the book came out on Thursday, and then we got the,
And thanks to Clarence, who has, we got the good news for us. Oh, yeah. That bonus money was all there. In fact, the good news was...
We're number one, damn it!
I got a good idea. Let's just play that. No, listen. For 4 hours today, along with... Listen to this.
We're number one, damn it!
How's that?
Excellent.
Yeah. And you know what? And we'll still get higher numbers than the sports shows. How do you like that? I mean, I don't want to poo-poo, and we hope that everybody on the station does great because it means more money for us.
Yeah.
What do you think the chances of ever getting that secondary bonus for the whole overall station? Yeah. The big zero, as in not excited O, but O as in zero. Well, that's the way it goes. You know, from midnight... Oh, no. From midnight till 1 o'clock in the morning, men 25 to 54 on your sports authority, WQM. Guess what we had? You just got through saying it. 0. Nobody. And then that great ESPN radio that we got on overnight had a 1.6. Average quarter hours of 200 people. We could hire a room at the Holiday Inn. Well, listen, don't start knocking the sports now. That's the bread and butter. That's where we lose all the money. Make all the money on this station. All that sports. The Marlins, and the Panthers. Any interest in those Panthers?
No.
I'm going to tell you, the games last week between Carolina and then the Leafs game on Thursday, there weren't enough people in there. You could have. It was embarrassing. You could have shoved them into a telephone booth. That's South Florida for you, man. And the fact that we actually do well speaking English, it's a major. That's another bonus for us.
Hola.
No pique de pani here, and I hear Castro's dead, by the way. And we're still kicking ass. I'm still waiting for that telegram. What a job, guys! And for Joe to come in there and give you a big kiss on the lips. That I would love to see.
El Paso.
Why?
You
want to get a kiss from Santa Claus?
You can give Chris a kiss.
No, it's okay. You're
Welcome into the
Chris
show.
does not want a kiss.
With tongue.
You don't want no kiss from old Smoky Joe, I'll tell you that.
Good job by Chris.
Yeah, come in and give him a big kiss on the lips. Great job, Chris. Yeah, but I wasn't on during that book. Well, whatever.
I'll take the credit.
And the bonus. Don't spend all your bonus money in one place, Bob.
I'll try not to.
Okay. 2,036 votes on the poll from Friday. Heavy, heavy duty. And I guess we'll have to borrow some of those for today. What's the main reason you've never called Neil? I have called 515, 25.2%. Remember it was like 26% all during the show?
Mm-hmm.
Is it me, or does it sound barely a little bit? Because I did get it. Huh?
Well,
and I should mention our MySpace page is a backup, and we can send and we can receive and we can diddle and whatever we want.
Back up. Well, since they were in here tweaking everything, remember
Yes.
I told you when I came in this morning everything was kind of ungapatchkied?
Mm-hmm.
But for a good reason for a change, so maybe you do sound barely.
Well, have I got my overhead up too loud?
I don't
think
know,
so.
or we're up too loud over here.
Because I got a
I
message saying, it's when you're talking to George, it sounds like there's an echo. I don't ever hear that. Do you?
No, maybe they hear it on their phone, but no, I don't.
What do you mean on their phone? Are they listening on their phone?
Yeah.
Pretty soon, there are going to be phones coming out. It's just amazing to me, being the old geezer that I am, I'm like right next to Alexander Graham Bell. Pretty soon there are going to be phones coming out. Not only can you email and text message and watch television and watch videos and listen to music and actually make a phone call and wipe your butt with it. It's just amazing to me. Isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I'll stick with my BlackBerry, thank you. I love it. Main reason you never called Neil. I have called 515. I have no material, 376. Well, that shouldn't stop you. It doesn't stop most of the callers. I'm a listener, not a caller. A listener. A stranger and a listener, 344. We still haven't found that, have we?
No.
I love it. A complete stranger.
Every day I'm taping.
I don't call anybody, 274. Too busy to wait, 211. Don't want to wait on hold. Of course, we don't put anybody on hold, but they just don't want to keep ringing it and ringing it, ringing it. You'll see how fast I pick them up. Watch. QAM, hello.
Neil, are you going to do a recap?
Like that, just like that. Too busy to wait, 211. I'm afraid to get ripped, 103. I hate this poll. Only 52 out of over 2,000 votes, a mere 2.5%. They were happy campers this weekend. I'm ecstatic. I'm too shy to call, 46. I'm shy, like Sig Shy, who's Israeli. Is he still there, by the way?
As far as I know. Shy.
What is he?
Shy still works here.
What show is he on?
Updates.
Oh, he does updates?
Yeah.
I'll be damned. Shy Levy. I called him Sig Shy. You know who Sig Shy was? He was an old friend of Larry's. I'll tell you the story about that. The first time I was on the air in Miami, I was a guest on Larry King. Hank was on the show. Sig Shy was on it, another big fat old guy, gambler, degenerate. And I think Phil Saltzman was on it. So obviously the topic was gambling. I don't know what the hell it was all about. Can't call from work.
About 30, man.
Don't have a phone.
About 30, man.
How do you like that? 30-30. Even Steven. Don't want my voice recognized, 29, and I'm a faxer, not a caller, 26. I'm a faxer, not a caller. We do get some good stuff on the fax machine, man.
Every once in a while.
I mean, not spectacular, sensational, but once in a great while we get a good fax machine, man.
A whole idea from Sean or somebody
else. And the audience
else.
will be pleased to know that I went to Woodbine Saturday and Sunday and broke even. I won on Saturday and gave it all back, but I played with their money yesterday, which no pressure. Plus, knowing I had the bonus money meant no pressure. And, of course, if you want to know why we got the bonus money, why?
Number one, damn it!
That's why.
It's another fluke.
And that must be it. Must be just because Neil's been on for 100 years. Oh, yeah, they recognize his name.
They just write it
these
down.
other people are complete strangers. Who poses a greater threat to the human gene pool as the poll today? Thank you, whoever sent that in. Getting some good polls sent in lately, too. You see that? And all these negatory people out there. Well, he's talking too much about Myspace. You'll see in a couple of months the whole audience will be gone. Yeah, shove it. That's my response to that, okay? By the way, what about that bloodbath in Iraq? Huh? Must be something new and extraordinary. Not.
Is that from the bath party?
Yes. The Bathists.
The bloodbath
and
party.
There's something, most of them could have fooled me, because when it comes to bath, I don't think that's in their vocabulary. But nevertheless, they're a little on the smarmy side. Oh, there were some people, yesterday at Woodbine that smelled so bad. But anyway, 662 votes. I don't think we're going to make 1,000, and then we'll be really upset and we'll cry. Who poses a greater threat to the human gene pool? Neocons, 216. Amen to that. The average American Idol viewer, 169. People who watch poker on TV, 68. Seriously, if you want to have a poster child for
I have no life.
somebody who watches other people play cards on television. Go.
Wow.
Yeah. That is like just screaming from the top of your lungs.
I have no life.
Go into the window, like Howard Beale said. Open it up wide and yell.
I have no life.
Remember when they were doing that big chess championship or something
chess
like that?
championship?
They had an auditorium full of people watching it on a big overhead screen. You know, that had the camera showing the chessboard from above.
No, I don't.
Oh.
The average American Idol contestant, 56. The average QM sports show caller, 48. MySpace.com members, 39, except for very few. I hate this poll, 37, 5.5%. And the average Neil Rogers show caller, 35. A threat to the human gene pool.
Neil, God.
Are you ready for some football?
No.
Then tune in to ESPN Gay.
And he hits the hole right after Jesse opens it up.
Oh, yeah. ESPN Gay.
Like to pack that guy around, too.
Cowboys, Bears, Vikings, Packers. You'll get them all on ESPN Gay.
He's going to fire into his guy right here.
Feel the sweat.
You push, you push, you push.
Smell the passion.
You just rode him backwards. Just put him right on his back.
This ain't some makeover show on Bravo. It's the NFL on ESPN Gay.
And then everyone's kind of slopping around down there and grunting and groaning. And, you get mud and stuff flying and gang tackles and scrums and quagmires.
ESPN Gay, where there's never a wardrobe malfunction.
Whoop. I don't know where that one came from.
Sundays will never be the same.
That looked like it was the last shot out of the Roman candle.
Call your cable operator now and demand ESPN Gay.
Look at that big old glop. Oh, what a meal those guys are having.
Look good. ESPN Gay. Now that's a mouthful.
Well, I'm sure the Patriots were a little bit down in the dumps after that loss last night, but the good thing is they all got to shower naked with Tom Brady after the game. That's the good thing.
Oh!
At any rate. 687 on the poll. What are you thinking? Here, what are your thoughts about dessert?
Sounds good. Where are we getting it from?
Now, don't be sucking around for more free food now. 185 today, by the way. Oh, my God. I am as svelte. I can't remember the last time I weighed that little. Not that it's that little, but 185.
George,
Can you ever remember me telling you I weighed 185?
This morning?
I'm not talking... I'm talking about in history.
No, never in history. I was just going to say, yeah, I remember back to this morning. I'm not that high.
Early before the show, yeah. Smart ass. Anyway, maybe somebody can answer for us. This is a very interesting question, okay? And I have my doubts that anybody knows. Although when it comes to technical crap, I'm good at potchking around with it, but I'm not so good at understanding it. Now, when you're doing the MySpace thing and you're writing somebody a message and you write the word online in the message, it doesn't print out. The word online, if you write it O-N-L-I-N-E in small letters, if you print caps, like with hyphenated, it'll show up. But if you just print O-N-L-I-N-E in small letters, it doesn't show up. It just goes ... and that's it. ... Like, yeah, like that. Yeah. So maybe somebody knows the answer for that. Doesn't that seem a little strange? And you didn't believe me, and then I had you experiment, you sent me a message, and it just said ... like that. It wouldn't print out. At least 75 people were killed and 160 wounded in a pair of nearly simultaneous car bombings in central Baghdad's something official said today. See, it says district somewhere, but it's chopped off, and I don't really care. I'm not going to worry about that no more, Body parts everywhere, many bodies charred. It was horrible, the official said, like that woman says about Nip and Suds. It was terrible. And this blood is all on your hands, George W., you lunatic. The butcher of Washington and the butcher of Baghdad and the butcher of the universe. But he's a good God-fearing man, though. According to the official, the midday bombings targeted civilians in a second-hand clothing market, the site of several attacks in the past. The explosions left DVDs and compact discs scattered on the street as black smoke rose into the sky. Gee, I wonder if it was anything good. Maybe it was Michael Bublé or something like that. Iraqi police rushed to the scene to evacuate the victims. Separately, mortar rounds fell on an elementary school in southern Baghdad's Abu Dazer section. Killing one woman and wounding 8 little kids. And it goes on. And, of course, 27 American troops killed in Iraq on Saturday, making it one of the deadliest weeks since the war began almost 4 years ago. Longer now than WW2. And the death goes on, and the American public wants to know when is Dancing with the Stars, and when's American Idol, and when's... and then, of course, Passions is going off, which some people are really upset about that. Some people loved it with a...
Passion?
That's it. WQAM, hello.
Andre.
WQAM, hola. Happy Monday. Hello.
Hey, Neil, it's Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
How are you?
What do you know, Joe?
I wanted to say congratulations on your numbers.
Well, thank you so much, Joe, and we did outstanding.
And I also wanted to say that there's a reason why Tom Brady wasn't quite what he usually is.
I see. I forgot to mention... Go ahead, let's hear it.
His new girlfriend is Leo DiCaprio's old girlfriend, so he doesn't have... He's been spending a lot of time with her, and he doesn't have the focus and the juice.
Yeah, I'm sure it was him. I mean, I didn't notice him playing defense last night, okay, sweetheart? I didn't see him out there when they gave up 38 points to that Sandy Peyton Manning and blew an 18-point lead. I didn't see that. But nevertheless, they all want to come up with that same cornball crap about, well, Tom doesn't have the strength anymore because he's wasting it all on girlfriends, and he's depositing all of his manliness. Well, whatever, you know. And you know what it is? They're all jealous, number one. And number two, they're hallucinating about it. They're fantasizing. And I'm right there with them. Why the hell not? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with a nice fantasy, huh? Even if it's only with a stranger. I can't stop saying that.
I'm on a mission to get that.
Well, I don't know if I have time to read this article before the break or not. It's fairly long. I don't want to do that. I don't want to start getting too verbose here, you know. It's like my emails. Sometimes I send emails that are much too verbose, and I always apologize for it, and then I keep doing it because that's just me, okay? When you're full of it, it flows easily. It's like the stroke of the pen, you know? Same thing with the keyboard. Bop, 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 bop. It just, you know.
That's just how
when
you
you're full
roll.
of crap. That's it. That's me, okay? And some people are used to it, and others are not, and whatever. Bop, 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 bop. That's it. That's me. And George says it's adorable, you know.
Yes, I do.
What the hell that means. Which I think that's really a shot.
That's cute. You deserve a pinch on the cheek.
Oh, I'd take it. WQAM, hello.
Frozen.
WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
When I wrote you that message on MySpace, I asked you out to dinner, but I don't want to because you have flabby arms. Happy Monday, okay?
WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
It's so funny to me that, I don't mean to talk about sports, but after the game, he wanted to thank God. Like, does Jesus like Peyton Manning more than he likes me, a Dolphin fan? I don't understand.
Hey, Peyton.
You family.
That's all I have to say to her.
I'm going to be rooting for Chicago.
All right, go ahead, Penny. I really don't care. Bears and the Colts, to me, oh, my God. Chris is all excited about it, and that's only because the Patriots are not in it. That's why he likes it.
Yeah, baby.
I think it's that Dolphin, jealousy is what it sounds like to me. Dolphin jealousy is what it's all about. Oh, we're so tired of those Patriots. They already won 3 Super Bowls and all that other crap. How are the Dolphins doing their Super Bowl attempts since 19? What was it? When was the last time they were in there?
73.
No, that's the last time they won. 84 was the last time they made it?
84, 85, one of those.
Long time ago. Danny Boy was still around, wasn't he?
Yes,
Or was it David Woodley?
No, it was Danny Boy's rookie year.
Was his rookie year they won the Stupid Bowl? And lost.
Rookie year.
712 votes on the poll. I think we got a shot. If we can get to like 7... Oh, yeah, we'll make it. We'll make our 1,000. You'll see. We're going to push on it. We got to get a lot of votes on that poll because the audience has been screwing off. They were watching the games yesterday, and then they all went out and got drunk and got laid and stuff like that. Disgusting things that the Lord will frown upon, and you're going to burn in hell. Make no mistake about it. Am I right?
Right.
The Lord works in mysterious ways. Here's some good news for a change. Well, not great news, but key legislators reached a final compromise last night on how to solve Florida's property insurance woes, and the full House and Senate will vote on the plan today, the last day of a week-long emergency session. Republican Governor Charlie Crist Let me say it again. Charlie gave a tentative stamp of approval to the bipartisan deal reached after 4 days of intense talks between House and Senate negotiators. Legislative leaders promised the plan will deliver rate relief to homeowners statewide who've been socked, and I mean socked. They've been stuck, baby, with soaring insurance premiums after 2 devastating hurricane seasons in 2004 and 5. Rate cut estimates for customers of private insurance companies range from 7 to 35% on the windstorm coverage in their policies. Customers of Citizens Property Insurance Corp., the state-backed insurer for homeowners who can't get private insurance, could see up to a 20% reduction in their premiums.
All right.
There's going to be a rate relief around the state, said Representative Adam Hasner, Republican Delray Beach. Talk much? What's the bacon? Never eat just like right before you go on air, just when you're on.
Bad radio. That's what
bad radio, man. That's the Neil Rogers Show. It's bad radio. Bad. Far too long, these scales have been tipped toward the insurance industry, and I think our actions certainly put that in balance, says Adam. But others only caution that time will tell if the rate relief materializes as hoped and whether homeowners are satisfied. We sure hope that you're all getting satisfied. This will be a success or failure on a family-by-family basis, said House Democratic leader Dan Gilbert of Miami Beach, but we've stopped the hemorrhaging and there won't be an obscene rate increase this year. That's a given. Legislators also caution that insurance breaks will not come immediately. It's likely to be months before anyone sees any rates drop. I know everybody wants it now, but if they know the cavalry's been just dispatched, they just have to hold it for a little while longer. Yeah, that's right. That's what Steve Geller of Hallandale Beach says. They all want it now, but they'll have to wait. That's the way life works, believe you me. You may want it real bad, but you're going to have to wait.
M-O-N-T-A-Y-S-U-C-K-S.
Absolutely.
Looking for love in the deceptive way, with somebody's picture stolen from Myspace. Blowing words out of my ass on a fake profile. Trolling online. Trolling online. I could be good looking or a fat hairy A. Bi or gay or maybe just straight. Look at all my gullible friends that I've got so far. Trolling online. Trolling online. All the time, everybody lies online. You're gonna find the zany guys who have no life. Trolling online. I'm giving hope to the desperate and lonely, even though I may be incredibly homely. You'll never know it's my reason for nothing but lies. Trolling online. I don't mind, just here's your moment for fake lies. The internet's a waste of time for what you expect to find.
No.
Trolling online. La 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 la.
10:33. Did I mention, by the way? I probably forgot.
We're number one, damn it!
And we got 750 votes on the poll. Not bad. Not too shabby, baby. I think we're going to make our 1,000 today, in spite of the very precipitously slow start.
I think so.
3 criminal prosecutions in Ohio's biggest county have opened with strong indications that the cover-up of the theft of the 2004 presidential election is starting to unravel. How do you like that?
Oh, my gosh.
Prosecutors say these cases involve rigging the recount in Cuyahoga County, that's Cleveland, where tens of thousands of votes were shifted from John Kerry to George W. Bush, or else not counted at all. Meanwhile, corroborating evidence continues to surface throughout Ohio, illuminating the GOP's theft of the presidency. By the way, this is by Harvey Wasserman. Remember him and Bob Fertrakis wrote the book about the theft of the 2004 election and all the 80 million articles I read by them, you remember? Yes.
No. Yes. I mean, yes. No.
And also, by the way, there are people out there my buddies are trying to write online, and they can't write online.
By the way, that message that I tried to write it on, it still hasn't shown up in my sent folder.
Wow.
So they must really hate that word.
Issues. Wow. According to the AP, County Prosecutor Kevin Baxter opened the Cuyahoga trial by charging that the evidence will show that this recount was rigged, maybe not for political reasons, but rigged nonetheless. Baxter said the 3 election workers did this so they could spend a day rather than weeks or months on the recount. Jacqueline Maiden, the County Elections Board third-ranking employee, faces 6 counts of misconduct involving ballot review. Rosie Greer, not the one you're thinking of, Rosie Greer, the board's ballot department manager, and Kathleen Dreamer, an assistant manager, also are charged. Is Kathleen a dreamer? All 3 are paid on paid administrative leave and are being supported by the County Board of Elections. The county prosecutors do not allege vote fraud, nor do they say mishandling the recount affected the election's outcome. But, here's the big but.
Rectum.
That's the one. Cleveland, which usually gives Democrats an extremely heavy margin, was crucial to Bush's alleged victory of roughly 118,000 votes out of 5.5 million counted. Some 600,000 votes were cast or counted in Cuyahoga County, but official turnout and vote counts varied wildly and improbably from precinct to precinct. Oh, speaking of wild, there she is.
How we can achieve that goal.
Oh, my God. Everybody's running for president, man. Several predominantly black precincts where voters went more than 80% for Kerry reported turnouts of 30%.
About 30, man.
Or less. In one ward, only a 7% turnout was reported, while surrounding precincts were nearly 10 times as high. Independent studies indicate Kerry cost thousands of votes in Cuyahoga County that rightfully should have been counted in this column. In the Cuyahoga case, the poll workers are charged with circumventing state recount laws that require a random sampling of at least 3% of the votes cast in a given precinct to be recounted by hand and machine, by a good machine man. The prosecution charges that the workers instead handpicked sample precincts to recount that they knew did not have questionable results. Are you following that? I'm not.
What?
Once they were able to match those recounts with official results, they could do the rest of the recount by machine, in effect rendering the entire process meaningless. This was a very hush operation, said Prosecutor Bastard. Similar allegations have been made in other counties. Indeed, such illegal non-random recounting procedures appear to have been common throughout the state, carried out by Board of Election employees with the tacit consent of Secretary of State, the right-wing Senator J. Kenneth Blackwell. And it goes on. Bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop. And, of course, nobody cares. The mainstream media, the MSM, do they care about it?
No,
Are they reporting it? Do they
no.
give a flying? No, they don't. Flying fig? Absolutely not. It's interesting, on the MySpace and the rest of the Internet, you can type any word you want in the world, and no problem.
Well, there's some places that have,
but
language filters, right? No, I've never encountered that before.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can type the F word, the SH, whatever you want, and it'll print that. No problem at all. Believe me, I do it all the time because I'm an old pervert potty mouth. And everybody I know on there is the same. Bunch of perverts. That's why I like them. But online, is there something subversive about that? Huh?
Oh, must be.
I don't get it. And it just always does the same. Dot, 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 like it's in Morse code or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're going to make our 1,000 today. It's a very tough assignment, but this audience is coming through for us. And thanks again to the loyal audience, man, for making us, because I heard a rumor over the weekend. I was at Woodbine and somebody said,
We're number one, damn it!
I said, yeah, I think you could be right. Who poses a greater threat to the human gene pool is our poll question today. Neocons 252. They put the con in neocon. The average American Idol viewer, American Idol, 193 and I've never watched that once. Have you?
You caught me in the middle of a yawn. The auditions. I watch the auditions because that's where all the Schmendricks go. But then the rest of the time, yeah. No, all the ridiculous people that it's like the Gong Show. And then there's no point to it because it's not funny anymore. It's serious.
The average American Idol viewer, 193. People who watch poker on TV, 73. Please do the human race a favor, okay? Put us all out of the misery and just end it all, please. The average American Idol contestant, 60. The average WQM sports show caller, 51. MySpace.com members, 47. I hate this poll, 42, 5.5%. And the average Neil Rogers show caller, as in, kind of like that, 37.
The biggest names, the best
Kind of
talent.
like
This is Neil God.
Seems
Absolutely.
Is right. 10:44 at 560 WQAM.
Gross.
Gross is the word. Anyway, we have what do we got? 781 on the pool. I'm shooting for 800 by 11 o'clock. Because if we can get to 800 by 11, then thank heaven for 7-Eleven or whatever, however that goes. The bread is on 11. Then we'll make our 1,000. And then what?
We go home.
Then we go home. A suspicious package was found today at Miami International, but it was harmless. Authorities said it was an accident, but nobody got hurt. The item in somebody's luggage was not a threat. Airport spokesman Mark Henderson said it was not yet clear what the object was. The item was discovered near an X-ray machine in Terminal A shortly before 6 this morning. Officer Thomas Froggy said, Froggy, plunk your magic twanger, Froggy. Can you believe that they actually said that on the Buster Brown show? Andy Devine, who weighed about 800 pounds, he looked like the Beast and Hank sewed together.
I'll take your word for it.
Andy Devine, the Buster Brown show. Plunk your magic twanger, Froggy. I don't think they could say that on TV now.
No.
You can't be plunking your magic twanger. The immediate area was cleared, but authorities did not expect flights to be delayed. This is just standard procedure, Froggy said. I wonder what's going to happen if Froggy croaks. When we have a suspicious package, we clear around the area and we call the bomb squad to check it out. Oh, yeah. Beware of that suspicious package. That's what I always say. And I'm telling you, I got so much stuff here that it's just unbelievable today. You want to know why?
Why?
Well, because I'm highly motivated. And you want to know why I'm highly motivated?
I know why.
We're number one. Damn it! Wow, what were you going to say?
That.
Oh, that's part of it. No question about that. Americans seem sour on the State of the Union in advance of President Bush's address on the subject. The poll finds most believe the country is on the wrong track, a complete flip-flop from 5 years ago, a complete turnaround. Turnaround as in...
Rectum.
Remember that song, Turn Around, Look at Me?
Bye.
Turn around, someone, turn around. I don't know. No, way before you were born. Turn around. Can you find it? You got it? Now, how have you got your stuff alphabetized? By artist, by artiste, or by name of the song, or what?
Any of these music organizer machines alphabetize anything any way that you want it to be.
Is that it?
So you just type a name in a search engine, and if it's got that word in the title, or in the artist title, whatever, it comes up. And
it pops up like magic. Like
yes.
Is that the Four Lads? Who is that?
It's the Vogues.
Oh, the Vogues! Wow, turn around and look at me. Well, that wasn't the original one, the Vogues.
What year?
Oh, I would say 66, 67.
68.
60. See, I was getting closer. I was getting there. You chopped me off before I could say it. Most people also are not confident that Bush and the Democrats, who are now in control of Congress and share responsibility with him for running the country, can work together to solve its problems, an Associated Press AOL poll now finds. At the same time, Americans see the president as likable, decisive, and strong, but also stubborn. And only a minority think he's honest, 44%, down from 53% 2 years ago. You know what his approval rating is now? The new poll, did you see that? 31%. 31%.
About 30, man.
Which means 69% say, no thanks, Georgie. How do you like them rotten apples, huh? And all this bloodshed, murder, and the Democrats are going, bada beep, bada boop. See, the Democrats are all too busy running for president. They're all running. Everybody. And then Swillery comes out yesterday. First it was Barack, and then Swillery, and Joe Biden, he's running. And then, of course, that Brownback, that's Sam Brown, that crazy person from Kansas, on the other side, on the Nazi side. Sam Brownback, who never met a person that he didn't want to fry in an oven, or a Jew, or anybody else he don't like, or probably darkies, too. All you dark folks, man, I'd run for the hills. Where the hell did that expression come from, run for the hills?
Probably because that was a safe place. I don't know.
So many stupid expressions in so little time, you know it? What about even Steven? Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know. It rhymes.
Is that what it is? Silly. Just so many silly
even
expressions
Bill
in so little
doesn't
time.
have the same kind of sound to it.
Even Schmendrick. How's that? 796. Oh, we got the 800 lick. Now they're heavy duty. They're coming in big chunks. Must be that microwave bacon. It was good. Baghdad Ho. Ann Coulter discovers it really is just like L.A. Do I have time for this before the... yeah, I do. It's not that long. It takes up several pages, but there aren't too many words on each page. R.J. Esco on the SmirklingChimp.com writes, critics have called Ann Coulter's comparison of Baghdad to L.A. ridiculous, but they haven't heard her searing Iraqi Gangland Journal. They haven't read it excerpted for the first time anywhere. There are those who suggest that her heyday as a conservative commentator is now past, and that this fumbling television performance proves it. But wait till you see this. You'll never be the same. So read, you skeptics. Read and learn. Ann's Iraq Journal, notes from a gang war. Baghdad, hot and muggy night, but then aren't they all? My military escort was Sergeant Henderson, and we are here to prove that this town was just like Los Angeles. Well, that's why I was here. The sergeant was already here. In fact, he'd been here quite a while. We dined at 7-ish at a vegan halal eatery. Halal, that's like kosher to the Iraq heads. That was popular with all the trendy downtown types. We had to call the Minister of Communication to get us in. It's just like L.A. after all. It's who you know, not what you know. The puree of mutton with reduction of saffron was delish. The puree of mutton with saffron, oh, man. But something in my fruit smoothie dessert made my lips puff. Wouldn't be the first time, Ann. I looked like one of those aging actresses still trying to make it in Baghdad, the city of dreams. Poor things you see them strolling up 14th of July Street or hanging in the lobby of the Al Rashid Hotel, lips full of collagen and faces paralyzed by Botox, still hoping for that big breakout role in the jihad recruitment video. Really sad. We came upon a likely group of young men wearing blue bandanas. If that wasn't enough proof they were Crips, the signs they were throwing confirmed it. We waved them over. Boys, I said, can you fellas tell me anything about gang war? They laughed to each other and conferred hastily. I couldn't understand much of what they said, although I distinctly heard the phrase, bitch better have my money. I turned to Sergeant Henderson. Well, I said, I'm certainly not going to pay those people. We're here to help them, and they should do it out of gratitude. He coughed into his sleeve and said nothing. Let's try the other gang, I said. Maybe they'll be more helpful. It wasn't until next morning that the sergeant realized they'd tagged his Hummer. We'd heard the music booming from every street corner as we drove into the Solder City. Got my mind on my Mahdi and my Mahdi on my mind. Oh, I bet you don't have that song in there yet.
No.
Got my mind on my Mahdi. We rolled up on the municipal M-A-H-D-I-E. And you spell with a like that. As in Chaim Yankel. There's another word I love, Chaim Yankel. That's like Meshi Pupik and Chaim Schmendrick.
What does it mean, Chaim Yankel?
I have no idea. It's a guy, Chaim Yankel.
Oh, Chai.
We rolled up on the municipal building, the easy flow of MC Mad Assam on the mic. Then we heard a voice call out, yo, 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 yo. The young man put down the grenade launcher and waved us over. The red checkerboard pattern in his kafia told us all we needed to know. He was a blood. Got a biggerette, he asked. Blood replaced the letter C with the letter B at the start of word. B as in blood, C as in Crip. Crips do the reverse. Yes, I told him, whatever, we need your help. Can you help us prove this is just a gang war and Baghdad's just like Los Angeles? He waved my question away impatiently. I want you to listen to my music, he said. If you respect my beats, you'll bring my song back to the USA, yes? He began to recite his lyrics. Al Ansar province on a Saturday night, my cousin's got her burqa on low and tight. Night's getting warm, I'm feeling kind of freaky, so don't give no lip about that bitch Al Maliki. Let's go, Sarge, I said to my driver. I think I need a cigarette. His face was revealing no emotion. Isn't that biggerette, he replied.
I was just going to say.
Anybody got a biggerette? Last stop, the sergeant knows somebody who's familiar with this war and with gangs in L.A. Ed was with the 32nd Military Police Force and had been a youth counselor in the L.A. ghettos. Listen, lady, he began, the L.A. gangs are a response to historical forces. The African-American population in that city doubled during WW2. In response, the white population began enforcing strict segregation in neighborhoods, forcing the African-Americans into enclosed spaces with little outlet for activity. Black youth began forming clubs for self-defense after some incidents of white-on-black violence. Ed took a breath. Then in the 1960s, the infusion of organized drug and racketeering, I cut him off. I'm not interested in Los Angeles, fellas. I'm interested in how Baghdad is no worse than L.A. Can you help me or not? He looked at me sadly. Gang war is tragic, he said, but you don't read the papers? 40 killed by a bomb one day, 60 people found tortured to death the next day, 34,000 civilians killed in Iraq by violence last year, many times that amount dying from inadequate health and other resources. I turned to Sergeant Henderson. This guy's a bummer, I said. Why not come up to my hotel room for a little distraction? He shook his head. I'm staying here on Earth, he said. I'm hoping you can go home now that the public has stopped listening to people like you. Back to the hotel room, alone. Hey, that's exactly what happened on my last trip to Hollywood when I went there to pitch my smoking movie idea. Hot, lonely, can't get laid to save my life. I don't care what they say. This town really is like L.A., says Man Coulter.
That's cute.
Isn't that cute? 811 votes on the poll. Oh, my God. No punches pooed on that report. No punches pooed. Maybe I'll read the ratings again from Friday for anybody who might have missed them.
Oh, they're entertaining to us.
Huh? Well, see, now we're rubbing it in. But, of course, we're used to being number one. In fact, that's just the way it is.
We're number one, damn it!
You get that bonus money in spite of the fact that the sports shows just sucked wind, man. You could hear those gigantic sucking sounds. It was unbelievable, like a hurricane.
Just rub it?
It was bad. No, I said just enjoy it. 816 votes. Who poses a greater threat to the human gene pool? That's our poll today, and we're going to make our 1,000. Well, there's Scooter Libby. What kind of an adult has a nickname of Scooter, huh?
Adult?
Phil Rizzuto. The Scooter.
Oh.
The Scooter.
The Scooting
He's
lady.
One. Who?
The scooting lady.
No, she wasn't the scooter. Now, is it true that she was the guy with the eyes? That was his mother?
If she was the same person as the tree lady, because that,
she was.
That was his, yes, then yes.
No wonder she died an early death. How very sad. Oh, my God.
Would have traded her for him.
Who poses a greater threat to the human gene pool? 816 votes. The neocons, 270. They're winning hands down your pants. The jury's been selected in the Scooter Libby trial. There's Scooter.
Like Christmas.
How's it going, Scooter? The average American Idol viewer, 205. People who watch poker on TV, with one exception, 80. See, every time I do that, I find out that somebody I know or like watches poker on TV, and I feel, I don't want to rip them too much, but it's, I don't know. I'll have to find out what that's all about. You think I care? No. The average American Idol contestant, 65. Myspace.com member is 54. With a few exceptions, there's some really nice people on there. There are some nice people. And then there are some people on there who are...
very nice.
Very nice. Myspace.com member is 54. The average WQM sports show caller, 54. We got a flat-footed tie there. They're even Steven. I hate this pool, 45, 5.5%. And the average Neil Rogers show caller, you got to admit, they're in a league by themselves, most of them. The average caller on this show, 43.
This is the Neil Rogers Show.
So how did the Dolphins do yesterday?
This is your brain.
They didn't lose.
Any questions?
It's time to put James Brown's body in the ground. Oh! It's been over 2 weeks since he's made a sound. While his family's acting fickle, he's melting like a popsicle. It's time to put James Brown's body in the ground.
Huh?
It's time to put James Brown's body in the ground. Right now he's just like a car at the impound. He's already met St. Peter, but his corpse is by a heater. It's time to put James Brown's body in the ground. It's time to put James Brown's body in the ground. He's like a single mint tenant lost and found. While the pearly gates are closing, his body is decomposing. It's time to put James Brown's body in the ground.
I'm dying over here.
It's time to put James Brown's body in the ground.
Absolutely.
The godfather of soul should be heaven bound. Even though it still looks perky, he's turning into beef jerky. It's time to put James Brown's body in the ground. We're number one, damn it!
Almost 300 dead and wounded today as violent surges in Iraq. I'm telling you, this new surge is really working well, isn't it? The deaths are surging.
Yeah.
The body parts are all over the place. And they're having a difficult time counting how many dead people there are because they got to find enough body parts to figure it's like one whole person, you know?
Well, just pick one body part and count that one, like left feet, for example.
I see. Wait till you hear this story. Although there might be a whole bunch of great calls on there, but there aren't. That's good. I like starting off Monday real easy, easing into it. But like I told you before the show today, some people hate Mondays. In fact, how about Blue Monday by Fats Domino? You got that?
Okay.
On Imperial Records?
Have
Blue
it by
Monday, how
too.
I hate... I beg your pardon?
Probably have it by a few other people, too.
I don't want to hear by nobody else. The Fat Man, Antoine Fats Domino, baby. He the man. You don't have it?
Oh, for some reason it ain't coming up. I
Well,
can't
I'll be
get it
there.
up this morning.
And, of course, in my case, like I told you, I enjoy Mondays. I look forward to it. Sex offender applies for school as a boy. A charter school alerted authorities to a 29-year-old sex offender who tried to enroll there, pretending he was just 12. Now, if you saw the picture on here, it's just amazing. And what sheriff's officials said Friday may have been an attempt to lure children into sex abuse. The Yavapai County, this is in Phoenix, Yavapai, Phoenix Sheriff's Office also said Neil Havens Roderick II conned too many he was living with and having sex with into believing he was a young boy. One of them, 61-year-old Lonnie Stifler, called himself Roderick's grandpa when he tried... Oh, beware those grandpas, man. When he tried to enroll him at Mingus Springs Charter School as Casey Price. He's 29. If you saw the picture, you know how old he looks?
30?
Yeah, about 30, I would say.
About 30, man.
And he's 12. This is the weirdest case I've seen in 18 years, Sheriff spokeswoman Susan Quayle said. If it wasn't so sad, it would be funny, but it's sad. It's pathetic. A total of 4 men were in custody in the case Friday on various charges, including fraud, forgery, identity theft, and failure to register as a sex offender. Officials at the charter school in Chino Valley, about 90 miles northwest of Phoenix, told deputies that papers that the grandfather presented appeared to be fake, and the so-called boy looked much older than 12. Yeah, I would say...
About 30, man.
Maybe 29 sounds realistic. Stifler. Now let's see, what show had or movie had a guy named Stifler? Was that
American Pie series?
American Pie. That's Stifler. Yeah, that's that Canadian guy. What's his name? You mentioned him on Friday.
I don't know.
The actor with the glasses. Come on.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. Doesn't he have three names or something?
No, get out of here. You mentioned him on Friday, not Philip Seymour Hoffman, the skinny guy with the glasses who played Daddy.
Oh, Eugene Levy.
Eugene Levy. Yeah. Oh, what are you eating now?
Grouper fingers.
Grouper fingers.
From Howie.
I didn't know groupers had fingers.
Yeah, I'm eating them.
Stifler and Robert James Snow, 43, were very upset when the detectives told them they'd been having a sexual relationship with a 29-year-old man and not a preteen boy, Quayle said. Well, what does that mean? I don't get it.
Go back, because I missed something.
Stifler, they thought that he was a 12-year-old kid, and they were having sex with him, but when they found out he was 29, then they were upset about it. I mean, that's a real pedophile, okay? In other words, well, maybe it was really good and we enjoyed it and had a wonderful time and he was really great in the sack, but he ain't no 12.
Showed me his ID and he was, over 18.
Detectives have evidence that Stifler and Snow enrolled Roderick in other Arizona schools and have notified law enforcement in those jurisdictions. It was unclear whether Roderick had actually attended any schools, but Quayle said, I think what we're looking at is that he's being used to troll for other kids. He's being used to troll. How do you like that? I don't know if he's trolling online or on, who knows. Maybe the wacky one knows about trolling online. What do you think? Oh, and did I mention on the air that we're open for business on our MySpace page that we got unblocked? On my Woodbine Saturday morning, I got an email. I was hoping it was maybe from somebody else, but of course I knew it wouldn't be. It was from George. And it said, no, that was very nice of you to tell me that they opened up our, we were unblocked. Now, what did the email say?
That was it. Your account is unblocked. Period.
Yeah. So in other words, they did the big investigation after a totally crazy person, an insane person, decided to toy and diddle around with our MySpace page because he can't get off of there, And, of course, this person was... And who was the other one? I forgot already. Who was the one with the naked picture?
Oh, Ethan.
Ethan, very good. See what a memory you got. George has got a memory for naked guys.
Yeah.
She said, detectives, while you're busy, chew on your grouper fingers there, will you please? She said detectives learned in interviews with the men that Rod Wright convinced Stifler and Snow that he was a boy after meeting him 2 years ago. Guess where he met them, boys and girls? Guess where he met them?
MySpace.
On the internets. On the internets. How do you like that? Stepped on him again, twice.
Damn it.
Well, that's because he's singing a little bit. He beats the beat. Well, Roderick apparently shaved his body hair and used makeup to keep up the guys. Oh, keep up the... I wonder how you're spelling that. G-U-I-S? No, G-U-I-S-E. Yeah. Keep up the guys. That's why they call him Stifler, I guess. Deputies who served a search warrant at a Chino Valley home Thursday found Stifler, Snow, Roderick, and Brian J. Nellis, 34. Quayle said Nellis was apparently Roderick's cellmate in an Oklahoma prison where both served time for sex offenses. Now, what was that thing about they were trolling?
Online.
What was that line? Trolling online? That's what it said. It said Boca Brian told him he was trolling online. There's the unsung hero of the human race, old Chicken Neck Baby, who looks just like me in that one picture about 100 years ago. People are fascinated with that picture.
I am.
About how it was a monster in the business. Boy, I was fat. Let me tell you my fat story, okay? 185 today, which, may not sound... I'm 5'9". I should really weigh about 160. 170, though, I'd be svelte. You realize I've only got 15 pounds to go?
That's nothing.
I don't think that's enough. Huh?
That's nothing in the grand scheme of things.
In the grand scheme of my fat, although I can reach down. I got a pupik here, man. It's just... And let me turn sideways and look in the mirror back here.
I mean, look at that picture and just imagine
grotesque, man.
How far you've traveled since then.
Yeah, but that's from the neck. That's from the neck up. That's from the shoulders up.
This is just an easy thing. Oh, geez. That neck weighs more than your whole body right now.
What, the old neck?
Yeah, the neck in that picture there.
Anybody that's got the MySpace thing, just go on our main page there and just take a look at the
at the Reverend Dr.
The Reverend Dr. Boca Brian Chicken Neck, and it's my old picture. I believe that's from WNWS.
That neck is bigger than most people's torsos.
Is it really? At any rate, in 1973, I'm working at WSPB in Sarasota, and I weighed 266 pounds. That's almost 100 pounds more than I weigh now. 266, 15, that's 81 pounds more than I weigh now. And you know something? I'm looking at it, and I'm feeling this big spare tire I got here on my pupik, and I'm thinking to myself, if I had 81 pounds more now, not only would I be in a box dead, but I would be really gruesome, like that Spazzing Spaz from Hialeah on our page there. And all of a sudden I start waking up in the morning, and I'm getting these bad headaches and like sweats, on my forehead, like dying over here. And that was 1973. That was 33 years ago, before so many of you punks out there were even born, even were an idea. 33 freaking years ago. 34 years ago. What is it, 2007? Well, you got to remind me of these things. So I go to the doctor, and he takes my blood pressure, and he says, I'm going to tell you one thing. If you don't lose a lot of weight real fast, you're going to be dead very soon, is what he said. That's exactly what... No, I said. That's what I said.
Yeah, it was...
So he gave me the medication, and I got on the straight and narrow path, or at least the narrow part, and I lost 100 pounds in a year. I did Atkins, I did the Stillman diet, that was pretty much the water diet, And then the what do they used to call it, the protein-sparing fast, where they had that liquid protein, and you drink a lot of pink water all day, and you'd pee a lot. All day you'd be peeing. What? What's wrong with peeing a lot?
Nothing but those.
The body is 75% water weight, man. If you can keep peeing all day, it's not too bad.
No, those drinks, could they have been good?
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
And another great poll from this. I got news for you, Sean, our poll expert out there. You got some stiff competition here. I think this must be from Stifler. Other than the government, who is effing you the hardest right now? Wow, that is a fantastic. It's got a long list, a beautiful list. 875 votes on the poll. So anyway, I weighed 266. I get down in a year to 170 pounds. So that's 4 pounds shy. That's 96 pounds. Not bad, huh?
Not bad at all.
And then I started eating. And I had all these, like normal-sized clothes. In fact, we had a trade-out at some clothing store in Palm Beach. This was at J&O in West Palm. And we had a trade-out with a clothing store, and, of course, that was Bill. Remember when Bill Toole called when we went on SUN in Tampa, and Bill Toole called in my ex-boss who used to wear those lime green Florida pants and the whole deal?
Yeah.
And, boy, did he ever scam that place. I mean, well, I shouldn't say scam. He, that's a bad choice of words. He, had a lot of trade-outs, let's put it that way. Yeah. He used it as best he could. At any rate, so he got me the trade-off for clothes, and I had all these really nifty, because when you're slim and you're not a fat cow, you can wear, like, really good-looking clothing. They don't make good-looking clothes for fat people. You wear like a potato sack. And I started eating, and, and Bill Calder and his wife and I would go out for dinners and pasta and this and that. And before you know it, the clothes started feeling really tight, They were out really tight. And I started ballooning up again. I think by the time I got to IOD, I was about 240-ish.
Yeah.
So I had gained, like, most of it back. Gained most of it back.
That's insane.
You can't do that. That's really disgusting.
Our good friend Chris here used to be much fatter than he is now.
How fat were you?
Well, I was about 35 pounds heavier.
You were what?
35 pounds heavier.
And how much do you weigh now?
About 255.
255?
Yeah.
And you're what, 5'1"?
5'10".
5'10", so you're a little taller than me and weigh 255. You're a cow, man. And you used to weigh 290?
Yeah, about that.
Woo! Now, have you got high blood pressure?
Nope.
Diabetes?
Nope.
You will if you don't cut the crap. You're going to be diabetic. And then no pizza, no pasta, no ice cream, no cakes, no candy, no cookies, no nothing, man. You're going to be a very unhappy person.
All for me.
Let me give a little advice to all my people out there, all my folks. Do not get fat, although a lot of you it's a little bit too late. Because diabetes is one of the most, not a very happy deal, Well, how do you don't like ice cream, Neil? Well, because it's so hard, It's in those containers. I think that makes a difference. When you nuke it, doesn't that cut the fat content down?
Yeah, you can pretend it does.
Hey, no crap for me for, I forget how many days in a row now. Aren't you proud? You ought to be a little bit proud.
I am very proud.
185 and still alive?
Very proud.
And 879 votes on the poll. We got 1,000 licked easy, and I'm waiting for the big telegram from the Beasley saying, wonderful work, you old fat fag. And George, too, by the way.
In the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
Domino's, the makers of Brooklyn-style pizza, introduces a new dish from the old country. Domino's Amish-style pizza.
Jebediah, what hast thou in thine hand?
It's pizza, Ezekiel. With slices so large, thou must fold it.
But, Brother Jebediah, folding is the devil's work.
Domino's Amish-style pizza is a centuries-old recipe that's never changed.
What toppings hast thou?
We're Amish, and thus only allowed to eat plain.
Domino's Amish-style pizza. Pick up the phone and... check us out on the web and... of course not. Drive on down and... that's not going to work either.
Hence that barn raising. I've raised a powerful hunger. When shall the pizza be delivered?
Yea, verily, Jebediah. It will be here in 2 to 4 weeks, or it's free.
Domino's Amish-style pizza.
Answer thee the barn door. It's Domino's.
It's 11:18 at 560. That's one of the things that you really can't deal with having to give up when you're diabetic, and that's pizza.
All for me.
So I got to eat the toppings when I get pizza. I eat the toppings with a fork, like the pepperoni and stuff like that. You can have the pepperoni and all that cheese, but don't eat the crust. There are few things more dangerous than crust, especially if it's like in your underwear, a lot of it. So here's an interesting fact for one of our chronics. It says, caught a few minutes of the Sid Rosencrantz Burger Rustine show on Sunday in time to hear him say, on Sunday, this Schmendrick, this big shot from the Irish show in New York, is working on Sundays. In time to hear him say that you're now the 300-pound gorilla and getting thinner every day, which means he's glued to the show. And listen right now. How's it going, Sid? See you back in the city. He'll be back there before you know it. It says, I kid you not, though he did praise you as one of the all-time greats. He says it's his time now. It's his time now with that incredible 2.0 share. Boy, does he have a lot of humor or what, huh? It's his time now, the Sid Rosencrantz-Steenberg Schwartz Show. On 790, the ticket, man. Woo. And by the way, I hate to break the news to whoever that guy was before on that spot or that promo, whatever it was. Rocky Colavito. Did you hear what he said, Rocky Colavito?
No.
Not only have we got a bunch of punks who don't know anything about sports, but we got some really dumb goyim there, too. I hate to break the news to you, man. Let's get the Yidloff back. That's what we need. Now, let's see. What's that schedule like today? We got Eddie K on? Yes, we do. Let's hear it for Eddie K. Oh! See, not only did he come back, but now he doesn't have to stay up till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning before he can go to bed. He might get out in time to actually hit the strip bars. Let's see. We got Mad Dog at 2, Power Hour, Hank and the Mad Dog together. See, that's another reason we're having like a little bit of problems in there in the afternoon is that we never have the main people on. They're never on. There are people who just don't go to work at all. You know what I'm saying?
I know, and I wish I was one of them.
Now, why do you say that? Don't you love being here every day? Come on, admit it.
I love doing the show. How's that?
The rest of that, I would agree with you. I second that emotion. We love doing the show. We love the audience, some more than others, by the way, but it's just one of those things.
Don't like being here in this building, in this city, in this state.
And in that building with some of those people.
Right.
1,130 on the MySpace.
About 30, man.
1,100 and...
About 30, man.
I should mention it, though, because according to one of my broadcasting expert mavens in Plantation, that if I talk too much about the MySpace, we're going to be done in a couple of months. We're going to be all done. You know, it's amazing when people get together and they talk behind your back, George.
I know. Never ceases to amaze me. Although we're good friends now because we both like Front 242.
Oh, so in other words, my close personal friend Dave and you are like online. See how that MySpace brings people together?
We're chumming up.
I don't know why you hold a grudge so badly. Just because
it's the way I am. I don't believe in forgiveness. I believe in justice.
Oh. See, I've made you a couple of friends on there already, so you ought to be real happy about it.
Yes,
especially somebody in your state of mind. 898 votes. We're on the precipice of 900. You ever been right on the precipice?
Just this morning.
Yeah, I feel like it right now. Who poses a greater threat to the human gene pool? Neocons, 290. Oh. Wolfowitz and Bill Crystal and Schmendrick Lewitz. Who's the other one? Richard Pearl. That crowd.
Oh, yeah.
The average American Idol viewer, 225. And those two are like way above everybody else. People who watch poker on TV, 90. Most. Not all. Most. Almost all. The average American Idol contestant, 70. MySpace.com members, 65. Now, come on. Now, we got some really nice people on there. We really do. It's amazing how many people, especially the ones that are kissing my ass like you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
Been listening since I was like 10 years old. I'm 110 now, and stuff like that. And they're very nice. The average American Idol contestant, 70. Oh, I already did that one. The average QM Sports Show caller, 59. I hate this poll, 52, 5.7%. And the average Neil Rogers Show caller, 47. Pose a real great threat to the human gene pool. The one good thing is that most of those people will not be reproducing, so you don't have to worry about it too much. If you catch my drift.
That's good.
Very good. WQAM, hello. But disappeared real fast. WQAM, hello.
Hi.
Uh-huh. And another disappeared. And let's try the other one on line 9, which you know what it's going to be. Look at that. They all got the phone jammed up each other's.
Rectum.
How do you like that? And the cord's a little bit too tight. A drug-resistant bacteria that's infecting wounded U.S. soldiers in Iraq and has spread to civilian hospitals in parts of Europe accidentally evolved in U.S. military hospitals in Iraq. Wired magazine reports in a massive expose story today, according to Raj Story. A massive expose. Wait till we get to the name of this bacteria. Should I even try reading it?
Oh.
The several thousand-word expose is going to bring uncomfortable new light to the bacteria Acinetobacter, I got that one right, Acinetobacter baumannii.
What word did you say?
That Pentagon officials previously said was likely a product of Iraqi soil. What a Mesopotamia they're making over there, man. By creating the most heroic and efficient means of saving lives in the history of warfare, the Pentagon has accidentally invented a machine, and it's a bad machine, man, for accelerating bacterial evolution and was airlifting the pathogens halfway around the world, the magazine says. I better look into that whole thing. What magazine is it? Wired.
Wired.
I'm wired. I feel a little wired right now. 9:03 on the poll. We're getting there, man. We are really going to do it. You're going to see. What did I say last Wednesday? I felt we had turned the corner.
That's what you said.
And then on Thursday, isn't Thursday the day the numbers came out, and we found out on Friday.
We're number one, damn it!
We had our legs crossed, our eyes crossed, our fingers crossed, our earlobes crossed. You know, one of the worst things about getting old, and there ain't nothing good about it, one of the worst things is all the hair that grows in your ears.
Oh, yeah. Been discovering that little by little.
Even you?
Well, little by little, like one incidental hair.
And as you know, I've got that electric shaver thing that I shave my head with every 3-4 days.
I pull them right out of there.
And then, of course, I also have to shave. They do have those things that you stick in your ear, and I'm not talking about what you're thinking about. But they have those little like that. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That would be a lot easier than trying to stick that big shaver thing in there and stick it in your ear. I've been told to do that, now I'm doing it. Well, I'm very obedient. I follow directions very well, okay? You'll see how obedient I can be, all depending on who's given the directions. Just the way I am in my advanced age. 903 on the pool. Rocky Colavito. I hear some of this stuff, man. You know what it reminds me of? That restaurant. The Restaurantes, remember that? When Defoe was on. And I find out over the weekend that Defoe is still on from 5 to 7 in the morning over there against the big...
Oh!
That's the same big O that had a .3 in December. Uh-oh. And how come nobody gave us the 5 to 7 a.m. breakout with all the different stations on? See, is Clarence there today, or is he off for another one of his
I saw him.
Basketball games? Well, I got a basketball game tomorrow night, but I guess it's a home game. Canes and Virginia Tech. That should get a huge tune-in audience. Canes basketball. How many people go to those games?
About 30, man.
Just like the Panther games. For the life of me, you ought to see the article that Damian Cox wrote in the Toronto Star, just ripping the Panther organization and South Florida and the Panther fans, all 5 of them, just ripped them an ass, and deservedly so. I mean, the last week, you can't call that a crowd, you know? When there's a couple of people on the street corner, you don't call that a crowd. When the place is more than half empty, you don't call that a stinking crowd. And about half of the people on Thursday were Leaf fans anyway, and it seems to me final score was Toronto 3 and Florida 2. Even though the Leafs reverted to form on Saturday against the Penguins, but that's the way it goes, you know? Can't win them all. Just like the Patriots last night. Do I feel bad about that? Of course I feel a little bit bad. It would be nice to win another Super Bowl and make the Dolphin fans eat more junk. But it's just one of those things. Now it's the Bears and the Colts. And you know who I'm going to be rooting for? The Bears. How about you, Chris?
Let's go Colts.
You know, is there anything about Chris that we like? Well, let's stop and think about this. Is there anything we like, George?
I'm thinking.
I'll tell you what, after the break, we'll see if either one of us can come up with a little something.
MONDAYSUCKS.
Rectum. 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 Rectum.
Yeah. What for? What are you, nuts?
Up the butt.
Right.
Up the butt.
Now see here. Get off your butt, pal, and cut the hoist.
Up the butt.
Wrecked him? Hell, it damn near killed him.
11:32, 28 till noon at 5:60. You know, somebody sent me an email and it was a very, very perspicacious observation on their point. You know how that one guy has put those whammy clips, the clips from those horrible old whammy shows?
Yeah.
And he's put them on there from you, right?
Yeah.
On our Myspace page. And he said, in watching those, it made me realize how Joyce has just basically cut your balls off and the stuff that you could say and do back then. And that was still on QAM. That was back in the beginning. That was BJ.
Right.
BJ, which doesn't mean what a lot of you are thinking. It means before Joyce.
For no good reason, by the way.
Yeah.
Because we could understand if there was actually some call for that, but there isn't.
No, there is a reason. That's because she hates us like poison.
Oh, yeah. I mean, besides that.
Like I've told you before, she's done everything to be an impediment to my success and thrown every roadblock in my way. And in spite of that, Joyce...
We're number 1! Damn it!
Yeah, take that and put it up your bag, honey, okay? Stick it right in the old bag. And squeeze it a couple of times for old time's sake. Squeeze it for me, bitch. 2 Hollywood teenagers were arrested on charges. They stole nearly $50,000 worth of computers and equipment from Sheridan Vocational Technical Center and sold them on the street, police said today. I wonder how much. One of the teens was identified. By the way, this computer, I should really get you one, but you keep telling me it doesn't make any difference.
Well, it might, because this one won't burn discs, and I've been having a problem all day.
Oh, maybe I will then. Since I'm being so generous these days, I got that nice fat bonus. This HP, what is it again?
I don't know what yours
7220 Slimline. You know, it's a slim one.
I've seen those.
Those are fantastic, man.
They look very nice.
Greased lightning, and they work very, very nice. And it's a beautiful thing. And I forget, it wasn't that expensive either. I'm going to get you one and send it to you.
Well, gee. I'm going to auction this one off out in the front lawn.
If I send it there, will it be a little bit quicker than the fax machine that I sent like a week and a half ago and it still isn't hooked up yet?
The good news is I ordered a cable, so who knows, maybe in 2 weeks.
Boy. Well, this should be pretty easy to hook up, because if I can hook it up, I'm telling you, in my old age, I've become a technical wizard here. I'm a freaking genius. 922 votes on the poll. We're going to have damn near 1,000 by noon after a very slow start. And that's because everybody last night was watching the playoff big games, man. They're watching the playoffs. Can I get back to this thing about the computer before I decide I'm going to spend any more money on you?
Yeah, get back to it.
One of the teens was identified by the police as Christopher Christian, 18 of Lauderhill. I wonder if he was a good Christian.
Oh.
The other was identified only as a 17-year-old student at the school. Police say the pair broke into Sheridan Vocational about 3:30 in the morning on January 13. I guess not a lucky day for those kids. They forced their way into a locked classroom made off with a large container on wheels. Inside, more than 25 laptop computers and associated hardware, police said. Police used video surveillance taken in the school to track down Christian. Beware those Christians, baby. I'm telling you right now. They'll burn your ass alive. Christian later led detectives to the other teen. The stolen computers were sold on the streets, but the Herald article still doesn't say for how much. Because if it was like nice and cheap, maybe I'd get one of those. Instead, there's an HP Pavilion 7220, which is an outstanding computer. I recommend it highly. Highly Selassie, baby. I recommend it enthusiastically and with no reservations, as they say at the Seminoles. 928 votes on the poll. I'm pretty impressed myself. I know you don't get impressed by anything. It's like a challenge, baby. Everybody enjoys a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Life is a challenge.
That's fine.
And you'll be pleased to know that I got up at 6:30 this morning. I don't ever get out of bed at 6:30 in the morning, for anything. And I woke up at 6. Well, actually, I woke up at 5. I was oisgeschlafen, as they say in China.
Well, what does that mean?
It means I was slept out. Haven't you ever woke up and you decided I've slept as much as I'm going to sleep and I'm not tired anymore?
I just never heard that term before.
Oisgeschlafen.
Oyster shucking?
Oyster shucking, yeah. Shuck this. Shuck you. How do you like that? Schmuck. Shuck the schmuck. Anyway. And so I laid there and I kept looking at the clock and I'm laying there and, and finally around 6:30 I dragged my fat, ugly ass out of bed. Isn't that exciting?
No.
I didn't think so either. I bet you that Sid Rosencrantz-Stein spiel thinks it is, though. And I hopped on the scale and said 185, and I thought, all right. What a wonderful human being I am, I kind of like me a lot. Frank Rich writes, he's one of my favorite columnists, and I think maybe I have time for this before, but I don't. So like I said, I'm going to get to that. Anyway, Florida state-created insurer of last resort will pay almost $1 million to settle a lawsuit that alleged a former executive took bribes to steer business to adjusters. So many crooked people out there alleged. Citizens Property Insurance Corp acknowledged no wrongdoing Friday when it agreed to pay $950,000 to Houston-based Universal Risk Insurance Services to settle the suit, which stemmed from claims from the devastating 2004 hurricane season. Universal alleged that it was fired in 2004 because it did not make payments to the then Citizen Chief Operating Officer R. Paul whatever his name is, Hulsebusch. Hulsebusch. What? That's his name, Hulsebusch, Hulsebusch. The company claimed it had learned Hulsebusch accepted at least $25,000 in goods as a bribe from another adjuster who then won a contract to handle claims for citizens. Hulsebusch resigned shortly after the allegations were made in September 2005. He has not been charged with the crime. He didn't return a phone message left yesterday at his Pennsylvania home by the A&P. He's thinking about calling back Winn-Dixie or Loblaws. Perry Cohn.
Who?
I wonder if he's kin to Marty. Citizen General Counsel said it was less expensive to settle the case than to continue fighting in court. Universal sought $4.6 million in damages. We just don't have enough information now to know definitively whether wrongdoing by others did or did not occur, Cohen said. The company said it may seek damages if criminal charges are ever brought in the case. Citizen spokesman Rocky Scott. I wonder what happened to Rocky Raccoon. What the hell was the guy's name?
Echevarria?
The school teacher, not Rocky Echevarria. Rocky, you know who I'm talking about?
No.
He used to be a guest on my show back in the days when I had those boring guests down here. He was a school teacher in Dade County.
Sorry.
Rocky, oh my God. I bet you somebody out there might know, but probably not.
Rocky the Flying Squirrel.
That's the one. Citizen spokesman Rocky Scott said Universal's adjusted contract was taken away from the company because it was unable to adequately handle claims given to it during the 2004 storms. Universal executives did not return a phone message left at their headquarters on Sunday. And by the way, there's almost no snow on the ground. It's the 22nd of January. Not that there's any such thing as global warming, you understand. I know it's the, El Nino, baby. It's El Nino. That's what they say. A lot of it's El Nino and a lot of it's global warming. -7. I have no idea what that is. What is that, about like 20, I don't know, 20-something degrees Fahrenheit? Not too toasty. It's a little on the chilly side. But there's almost no snow. Very little. The only stuff that's left is what's frozen over from Monday, when we had about an inch. Of course, today is Monday, and I do have about an inch. 930 votes on the poll. 9 what?
About 30, man.
Not bad. We'll get close to that 1,000 before 2 shakes of your ham hock. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail my ass.
This is the most disgusting program. Yes. I urge everyone to complain to this station.
A man attempts to investigate the disappearance of 2 people. But he is hindered by a lower intestinal problem.
Your husband and my wife. Excuse me.
You won't want to miss Random Farts.
Anyway, they're on a...
It's edge of your seat tension for obvious reasons. Boy, where did that come from?
I'm sorry. Anyway, your husband...
Random Farts. Follow your nose to a theater near you. Oh, boy. Hello.
Okay, that's the question. Does Queen Elizabeth II, does she ever fart? And, of course, the obvious answer is a lot, probably.
That's the royal fart.
British cuisine. The royal fart.
That's why they have those expressions on their faces.
Rocky Raisin, how do you like that?
Never heard of him.
Well, what the would you know about that?
Nothing.
Here's more of the message. Southwest 19th Street is named after him in the Shenandoah area, says your buddy Moishi. Well, how do you like that? I knew he knew something. Rocky Raisin. He's got a street named after him. Well, he's not dead then, is he? Can they name streets after living people? I don't think so. I'm not really sure of that.
They can do anything they want to. Don't we have a Don Shula Expressway?
Is he alive? I said living people. Well, I mean,
brains in a jar.
I guess brain dead doesn't count. Oh, no. Where's that, though? There it is.
Don Shula, I have him!
Yeah, one of your close best personal friends there.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad. Frank Rich says, lying like it's 2003. Those who forget history may be doomed to repeat it, but who could imagine we'd already be in danger of replaying that rotten year 2003? Scooter Libby, the mastermind behind the White House's bogus scenarios for ginning up the war in Iraq, is back at Washington's center stage, proudly defending the indefensible in a perjury trial. Ahmed Chalabi, the peddler of flawed pre-war intelligence hyped by Mr. Libby, is back in Clover in Baghdad, where he purports to lead the government's Shiite Ba'athist reconciliation efforts in between visits to his pal Mahmoud Ahmadinejad in Iran. I love saying that. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad.
Oh, and I don't have
Makes my throat tingle when I say that. Last but never least is Mr. Libby's former boss and Mr. Chalabi's former patron, Dick Cheney, who is back on Sunday morning TV floating fictions about Iraq and accusing administration critics of aiding al-Qaeda. When the vice president went on a tear like this in 2003, hawking Iraq's non-existent WMD and non-existent connections to Mohammed Atta, he set the stage for war that now kills Iraqi civilians in rising numbers, 34,000 plus last year, that are heading into the genocidal realms of Sodom. Mr. Cheney's latest sales pitch is for a new plan for victory, promising an even bigger bloodbath. Mr. Cheney was honest, at least, when he said that the White House's Iraq policy would remain on full speed ahead, no matter what happened on November 7th. Now it's our patriotic duty, politicians, the press, and the public alike, to apply the brakes. Our failure to check the administration when it rushed into Iraq in 2003 will look even more shameful to history if we roll over again for a reboot in 2007. For all the belated Washington scrutiny of the war since the election, and for all the heralded, if so far symbolic, congressional efforts to challenge it, too much lip service is still being paid to the deceptive PR strategies used by the administration to sell its reckless policies. This time we must do what too few did the first time, call the White House on its lies. Lies should not be confused with euphemism like incompetence and denial. By the way, can I interrupt my reading? It's a long article.
Okay.
So you sent me something. Eric found out why it won't print that thing on there online?
So there was something in the forums and the, whatever you call it, the technical issues.
There's a hocus and a pocus on the focus?
Yeah, I sent you the link to it, but I didn't read it. Cause,
I'm not going to read that technical stuff. What do I know about it?
Exactly.
Thanks, Eric.
I don't want to read.
And by the way, Eric, what is AIM? AIM, is that AOL Instant Messenger?
AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh, I'm not going on that.
Poison. Tooey.
I've been invited to check that out, but I think I'll stay away because AOL is evil. But
foul.
Which do you hate worse, Kraft macaroni and cheese or AOL?
They're all in there together with Walmart.
Mr. Cheney's performance last week on Fox News Sunday illustrates the problem. His lying is nowhere near its last throes. Asked by Chris Wallace about the White House's decision to overrule commanders who recommended against a troop escalation, the Vice President said, "I don't think we've overruled the commanders." He claimed we've made enormous progress in Iraq. He said the administration is not embattled. Well, maybe that one is denial. This White House gang is so practiced in lying with a straight face that it never thinks twice about recycling its greatest hits. Hours after Mr. Cheney's Fox interview, President Bush was on 60 Minutes claiming that before the war, everybody was wrong on weapons of mass destruction, and that the minute we found out the WMD didn't exist, he was the first to say so. Everybody, of course, was not wrong on WMD, starting with the UN Weapons Inspection Team in Iraq, nor was Mr. Bush the first to come clean once the truth became apparent after the invasion. On May 29, 2003, 2 days after a secret Defense Intelligence Agency-sponsored mission found no biological weapons in trailers captured by the American forces, Mr. Bush declared, "We found the weapons of mass destruction. We found biological laboratories." Right. But that's all WMD under the bridge. The most important lies to watch for now are the new ones being reiterated daily by the administration's top brass from Mr. Cheney and Mr. Cheney on down. You know fiasco awaits America when everyone in the White House is reading in unison from the same fictional script as they did back in the day when mushroom clouds and uranium from Africa were the daily drumbeat. The latest lies are custom-made to prop up the new way forward that is anything but. Among the emerging examples is a rewriting of the history of Iraq's sectarian violence. The fictional version was initially laid out by Mr. Bush in his January 10th primetime speech and has since been repeated on television by both Mr. Cheney and National Security Advisor Stephen Hadley last Sunday and by Mr. Bush again on PBS's NewsHour Tuesday. It goes like this. Sectarian violence didn't start spiraling out of control until the summer of 2006 after Sunni terrorists bombed the Golden Mosque in Samarra and forced the Shiites to take revenge. But as Mark Seibel of McClatchy newspapers noted last week, the president's account understates by at least 15 months when Shiite death squads began targeting Sunni politicians and clerics. They were visible in embryo long before that. The Times, among others, reported as far back as September 2003 that Shiite militias were becoming more radical, more dangerous, and anti-American. Like us, anti-American. The reasons Mr. Bush pretends that Shiite killing started only last year are obvious enough. He wants to duck culpability for failing to recognize the sectarian violence from the outset, much as he failed to recognize the Sunni insurgency before it, and to underplay the intractability of the Civil War to which he will now sacrifice fresh American flesh. An equally big lie.
Fresh flesh.
Fresh American flesh. As Miss Foley would say, with or without those silk underwear on. An equally big lie is the administration's constant claim that it's on the same page as Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki as we go full speed ahead. Only last month, Mr. Maliki told the Wall Street Journal that he wished he could be done with his role as Iraq's leader before the end of this term. Now we're asked to believe not merely that he's a strong man capable of vanquishing the death squads of the anti-American cleric Muqtada al-Sadr, his political ally, but also that he can be trusted to produce the troops he failed to supply in last year's failed Baghdad crackdown. Yet as recently as November, there still wasn't a single Iraqi battalion capable of fighting on its own. Not uno. Hardly a day passes without Mr. Maliki mocking the White House's professed faith in him. In the past week or so alone, he's presided over a second botched hanging, despite delaying it for more than 2 weeks to put in place new guidelines, charged Condi Rice with giving a morale boost to the terrorist because he criticized him, and overruled American objections to appoint an obscure commander from deep in Shiite territory to run the Baghdad surge. His government doesn't even try to hide its greater allegiance to Iran. Mr. Maliki's foreign minister has asked for the release of the 5 Iranians detained in an American raid on an Iranian office in northern Iraq this month, and on Monday called for setting up more Iranian consulates in Iraq. The president's pretense that Mr. Maliki and his inept, ill-equipped militia-infiltrated security forces can advance American interest in this war is Neville Chamberlain-like in its naivete and disingenuousness. Ooh, I love that. It's naivete and disingenuousness.
Both of them?
An American military official in Baghdad read the writing on the wall to the Times last week. We're implementing a strategy to embolden a government that is actually part of the problem. We are being played like a pawn. That's why the most destructive lie of all may be the White House's constant refrain that its doomed strategy is the only one anyone has proposed. Administration critics, Mr. Cheney said last Sunday, have absolutely nothing to offer in its place, as if the Iraq Study Group, John Murtha and Joe Biden-Leslie Gelb plans, among others, didn't predate the White House's own. In reality, we're learning piece by piece that the White House has no plan. Ms. Rice has now downsized the surge escalation into an augmentation, inadvertently divulging how the Pentagon is improvising, juggling small deployments in fits and starts. No one can plausibly explain how a parallel chain of command, sending American and Iraqi troops into urban street combat side by side, will work with Iraqis in the lead. It'll report to a committee led by Mr. Maliki. Or how $1 billion in new American reconstruction spending will accomplish what the $30 billion thrown down the drain in previous reconstruction spending did not.
About 30, man.
All of this replays 2003 when the White House refused to consider any plan, including existing ones in the Pentagon and the State Department bureaucracies, for coping with a broken post-Saddam Iraq. Then, as at every stage of the war since then, the only administration plan was for a propaganda campaign to bamboozle American voters into believing that victory was just around the corner. The next push on the Way Forward propaganda campaign arrives tomorrow night with the State of the Union address. Boy, I'm sure going to miss that. Aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
I wouldn't watch it if he paid me by the millisecond. The good news is that the Democrats have chosen Jim Webb, the new Virginia senator, to give their official response. Mr. Webb, a Reagan administration Navy secretary and the father of a son currently serving in Iraq, has already provoked a testy exchange about the war with the president and a White House reception for freshmen in Congress. He's the kind of guy likely to keep a scorecard at Lies on Tuesday night. But whether he does or not, it's incumbent on all those talking heads who fell for shock and awe and mission accomplished in 2003 not to let history repeat itself in 2007. Facing the truth is the only way forward in Iraq, says Frank Rich in the New York Times yesterday. You go, Frank, baby. A great American, if you ask me. So who died? That 71-year-old actor from whatever show that was that I didn't watch?
Ron Carey from Barney Miller and other things.
Oh, I hated Barney Miller. I mean, is that disrespectful when a guy dies and he was on that show and I said, oh, I hated that show. I didn't watch it.
No, I liked it, but
you liked Barney Miller
back then? Yeah.
Was that the show with the guy with the mustache, Hal Linden?
Hal Linden, yeah.
Oh, hate that. Cornball, Hal Linden. Hal Linden. He's like a throwback to those back in the day, the olden times, like in the 1800s, like Rudy Valley. 947 votes. Boy, they're slowing down a little bit on here because now that we've assumed 1,000, which we'll make easy, but see the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
I manipulate them like remember in the beginning of The Godfather? Of course you do. The puppets on the string.
That's
strings.
Right.
Who's holding the strings? It's one thing to be manipulated, but it damn well better feel good. 948 votes. Who posed a greater threat to the human gene pool? Neocons 304. Hubmindred, as they say in Finland. Boy, I sure loved Helsinki, man. I loved it. The average American Idol viewer, 241. Those are the only two, like even above 100. How about neocons who watch American Idol? People who watch poker on TV, 94.
By the way,
so sorry. Yes.
Book O'Brien just reminded me.
Chicken neck, yeah.
Yeah, that Ron Carey was Junior. As in...
Get the honey, Junior.
Oh, that's who that was. I thought the name was familiar. He was good.
Yeah.
You love bread. I like bread. You love bread.
That's right. Thank you, Book O'Brien.
Yeah, thanks you, Chicken neck.
Split my mind.
People who watch, I better not read that again. The average American Idol, what? I don't want to get anybody aggravated. It's just one of those things. You know me. I'm just such a ass kisser. The average American Idol contestant, 74. Myspace.com member, 67, with many, many exceptions. The average WQM sports show caller, 65. I hate this poll, 54. And the average Neil Rogers show caller, 49. So our callers, as infrequent and as grotesque as so many of them are, they got the sports nerd callers beat. Now, the sports nerd callers may actually say a few words every now and then, but it's pretty much, well, what do you think about Jimmy and Danny and Danny and Jimmy, and what about that no-good Nick Saban and yada yada? Now, is that thing you told me before the show, is that a secret or what?
I don't know.
About the big promotion? I better not say anything. Because every time I open up a mouth, not that I care about me, but I don't want to get your ass in hot water.
Oh, I don't care.
Oh, there goes Georgia. What do you mean you don't care? What does that mean?
I don't
care
how much hot water I might
Well, I didn't send you that
steeped
big of a check, okay? It's only a couple of grand. It's not like $1 million.
Well,
So you tell me that Chris, let's see, he's a Republican. He hates the Patriots. He's rooting for the Colts and Sandy Peyton Manning, which is one of the most unctuous. But he does tip the delivery guy for the food.
That's right. He hates fags too. Did I mention that?
Great. And this show. I got to do a spot. See, I faked him out. That was intentional. That was intentional. Just testing you now. See. That's what's going to happen a lot from now on. Now that we find out what your true colors are. What about 380? We got some fat people in that building, boy. It's a damn good thing I got out of there.
Yeah, fat people in radio.
How unusual. People that sit on their ass all day like me. During this break, I'm going to get up and run around the room a couple of times. You believe me?
No.
No chance. 11:57 at QM time.
This is Brady Quinn. Whenever I shave my balls, I listen to the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
All right. Screw you! This is the story of a coach named Nick Saban. He is the guy who just deserted the Dolphins. Seems he doesn't care what other people might call him. He sunk another nail into the Dolphins' coffin. It didn't take long for Nick to decide he was gonna leave and coach the Crimson Tide.
You fairy.
Whenever he was asked about it, he always lied. We watched Nick take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run. So long, take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run. So long, take the money and run. No longer on the sidelines in that stupid hat. He quit the team and now they're feeling so flat. I wonder what Wayne Huizenga really thinks of that. The Dolphins are a sinking ship and Nick is a rat.
Yes.
Every excuse Nick gives for leaving sounds lame. A whole lot of money to coach football games. And if it was you, you know that you do the same. I guess that's why Nick doesn't feel any shame. Go on, take the money and run. So long, take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run. So long, take the money and run. Say screw y'all. Go on, take the money and run.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye, Nick. And who cares, you know? So that promotion you were telling me about sounds really... Oh, man, that should do it. Wouldn't you think they're going to put Kenny and Bo right over the top? I would think so.
I have no doubt.
So that was Toast's idea? Is that what you tell me? I think he's going to be Toast pretty soon.
That's the rumor.
What is his story anyway? Is he like a pretty good guy or is he a...
I don't know. I've had maybe 5 words with him.
Come on.
I'm telling you.
Toast?
Yeah.
Now, where do we know him from? Was he on... what was he on?
One of those other shows. So if he's named after breakfast food, it must be from
Zeta.
Paul and Ron.
Oh, old Paul and Ancient Ron, huh? They did okay. They had a pretty good number in there on Friday. Hey, listen, I don't make up stories, okay? Some of these people in this market, they've been doing it for years. Oh, well, you know, like Pharrell, blah, 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 blah. I beat the hell out of Stern. The hell he did, you know? One of the first things the Humper told me about Pharrell when he came on here with us, he's a liar. That's what the Humper said, okay? He said he's a freaking liar. That's what he said. I mean, I don't know. I could care about him less one way or the other. By the way, good job on our license there, Scott. 970 votes on the poll. This is the half hour we go over 1,000. I told you we'd ease into it. Didn't I say that? We had only like 6-something when we started, I believe. Did you see this thing about Elliot Rodriguez?
No, there's a thing?
Only about... I cannot stand him, man. I think back to those Alien days, man. He was just a professional Julio during those days. Him and Ricky Tiki Sanchez, who was on CNN last night as my channel switched real fast.
Yeah, lucky you.
It's on automatic pilot when Ricky Sanchez comes out and moves to the next channel. When CBS 4 anchor Elliot Rodriguez was sued for divorce by his wife of 13 years, who then argued that a judge should award her a bigger cut of their assets, He reluctantly made a decision that puts him in a very small fraternity. Rodriguez, 50, decided to ask for alimony. Any relation, George?
I'm sorry?
Well, there's only like 42 million Rodriguezes in Florida.
I know. Once upon a time, a long time ago, there was one Rodriguez, and he was very busy.
Well, what does that mean? Oh, I see. In other words, that's where you all came from.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Despite laws in Florida designed to reduce divorce...
He's going to take alimony? What a chulo.
What the hell does that mean? That sounds like something disgusting and perverted. It sounds like something in highlight.
Disgusting, but not perverted.
Oh. Despite laws in Florida designed to reduce divorce to a matter of numbers and eliminate the influences of age-old gender biases, few men ever seek alimony, lawyers say, and even fewer ever get it. And the alimony either. Whether it's fragile male ego or the continuing disparity in incomes between men and women, in the absence of any studies, lawyers will have to theorize. Men don't go after the money the law says they can have. A lot of lawyers feel uncomfortable even asking for alimony, even if the men are entitled, because it's a very tough road to hoe, said prominent divorce attorney Andrew Leinoff. They know a lot of judges raise their eyebrows at it. However, as women increasingly outpace their husbands in earnings, the percentage of women who earn more jumped from nearly 18% in 1987 to more than 25% in 2004. The number of men receiving alimony will surely rise. When you look at the stats of where people make money, it's in the small businesses, and most small businesses are owned by women, says forensic accountant Loretta Fabricant, who currently has 2 cases in which the husbands be seeking alimony. She says she once helped a West Palm Beach husband win $10,000 a month in support. I'll take it. I don't need it, but I'll take it. I'll take whatever they're giving. I'll take that bonus money, too, by the way. Thank you, Joe Bell. Now, did he come in and give you that big kiss that you've been waiting for?
No.
On the cheek?
Rectum? No.
Huh?
No.
I'm starting to get a little bit put out. I better check all my other 800 emails that I got. I'll tell you one thing about this thing. Like I said to you last week, this Myspace place, this thing is keeping me real busy. I mean, oh, man.
It can do that.
Woo! I am doing about 16 different shows at the same time. It should be good for losing weight, wouldn't you think?
I imagine.
Now, do you think it's possible? What's the date today? 22nd?
Yeah.
That in about a month I could lose another 15 pounds? That shouldn't be hard at all, should it?
It's possible, but, you know.
But what?
I mean, don't set your goal so high that if you don't make it, you'll be all crushed and go eat some ice cream. This year, Fabricant consulted with a woman who hit it big in the recent real estate boom. After calculating how much it would cost her, the woman decided not to divorce her husband. It's going to become more prevalent as more and more women escalate in their professions, Fabricant be saying. As co-anchor of the 5:30 p.m. newscast and an Emmy-winning reporter, Rodriguez earns $300,000 a year. His wife, Univision anchor Maria Elena Salinas, did I say that right? Maria Elena Salinas? Sure.
51. 51. I'm sorry, I'm doing Italian now. Earns more. See, the numbers are so similar, I get all confused. But that's all I can say in Spanish or Italian anyways, a few numbers. I've seen a few good numbers. She earns more, upward of $2 million a year, with the $60,000 a month available for expenses, he said in quote papers. She earns $2 million a year, he's making $300,000, which isn't bad for a putz like him. What's wrong with $300,000 a year?
Oh, I'll take it. I'd like it better if my wife earned $2 million a year or something, whatever the hell she makes.
Boy, what a nasty divorce that would be. The couple also owns a very hasty one, too. The couple also owns a 4-bedroom, 3,900-square-foot house in Coral Gables and a 2,000-square-foot condo in Key Biscayne, together valued over $2.1 million. Don't sound to me like they're missing any meals, I'll tell you that.
No.
Rodriguez said he would happily have settled for an even split of their assets, but his wife, who left on Mother's Day and filed for divorce, argued that she had contributed more to their thing and therefore was entitled to more. She also asked for child support. Rodriguez agreed both should support their 2 daughters and that his wife should get the house in Coral Gables if he got paid for his half. He's now living in the couple's condo and faces mortgage, tax, and maintenance fees of $5,500 each month, he says. Those condo commandos will get your ass, man, if you don't watch out. He also argued that he was entitled to alimony and attorney's fees to maintain the marital lifestyle. That's when things got a little bit ugly. His lower earnings, his wife counted, were due to his own lack of ambition. His lower earnings, his wife said, were due to his own lack of ambition. Are you laughing at Elliot Rodriguez now? What is wrong with you, man? That sounds so insensitive. That is grotesque. That's when things got a little bit ugly. His lower earnings, his wife counted, were due to his lack of ambition. How do you like that? That sounds like a real shot to me.
What a shtuch.
Right in the heart, right in the middle of the back. rather than a solar plexus. Let's just leave that on till 2. And you know something? I think we could play that 4 hours a day and still get the best numbers on the station, don't you? Let's try it for a few months. Our position is that once they're divorced, there's simply no need, says Salinas' attorney, Bruce Christensen. Elliot Rodriguez does not need alimony when he makes $300,000 a year. He can support himself like everybody else making $300,000 a year. I remember when I made $300,000 a year. You know when that was?
Long time ago?
The first year at IOD. I shouldn't be talking about how much money I make because then there are people, Klingons, come out of the woodwork. Salinas denied that Rodriguez had contributed to her career. If anything, she argued he constantly criticized her and complained the only reason that the husband didn't further advance his own career was due to his lack of desire to do so, Salinas' attorneys wrote. Reluctant to be cast as a poster boy for alimony, Rodriguez explained the instructions he gave to his attorneys. I said, look, I'm a journalist. What I do for a living is gather information. I've gathered the information in this case, and you can give it to all of you very high-priced lawyers. Now, please apply it to my case and let me move on, he said in a telephone interview. Instead, I find myself in the middle of this legal battle that I don't want to be part of. That's what your buddy Elliot Rodriguez said. He says that he's going after the alimony because he's entitled to it because of the difference in salaries and marital lifestyle. If he wasn't entitled to it, he says he wouldn't want it. But it isn't that simple, it says in the Herald. In '95, in a seminal case that brought the same issue in a bitter courtroom battle, attorney Alice Hector, a partner at Steele, Hector & Davis, filed for divorce after her stay-at-home husband, Robert Young, father knows best, not that Robert Young, admitted to having an affair. After a 10-year battle over their 14-year marriage, Young walked away with just $36,000 in alimony. Florida Supreme Court made alimony gender neutral in 1980, said attorney Maurice Kuttner, who's representing Rodriguez. Every case, he said, is supposed to be based on the fairly straightforward set of operative facts. Speaking of Maurice Kuttner, I wonder how, I better not say. I wonder how Mark Kuhn is doing. Remember Mark Kuhn?
I do.
Did you ever meet him? Remember we had that big seminar there? Now, who the hell was at that seminar? That wasn't Walter Sabo, was it?
Yeah, it was. And
it was?
That was my one and only encounter with Mark.
Oh, my God, what a jackass. Walter Sabo, who I turned down, who wanted to be our friend on Myspace, and I told him, get lost, Walter. A radio consultant. You know, people that are really broadcasters, they broadcast. People that can't broadcast, they're consultants.
And people who can't manage, hire them.
Yeah, and people that can't manage get appointed to be general manager. Glorified salespeople are most managers. That's why Dick Casper was such a genius. He had been a salesman, but he was a programming maven. He understood that it was more than just going out and selling a bunch of spots and say, give us the damn money. We want your money, honey, sonny. So the guy who played Dom DeLuise's brother, Junior. Oh, my God, he died. What was his name again?
Ron Carey.
Grab my Junior, honey.
Very sad day for the human race.
God.
But she drinks more than she eats. Nicole parties like a rock star. Paparazzi follows her with cameras, and in pictures she looks so starved. Oh, my daughter's skinny. She's skinny like a skeleton, y'all. My daughter's skinny, yeah. She's skinny like a skeleton. She wants to get drink and smoke and dance dirty all night. She does a sandwich real quick. Oh yeah. My daughter's skinny, skinny like a skeleton.
I wonder if there's a reason for that, you think? That his daughter's a little on the anorexic looking side? Can't imagine what it might be.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking more like, More like that. Ron Carey of Miller TV sitcom dead. I guess he was a little pudgy, huh? Maybe he had too many pieces of bread.
Possible.
Ron Carey, the puckish comedic actor. Puckish. Maybe he was a hockey fan.
Maybe.
The puckish comedic actor who played Officer Carl Levitt on a situation comedy. Barney Miller was a member of Mel Brooks' troupe in films such as High Anxiety and Silent Movie. Died of a stroke last Tuesday. He was 71. Boy, the news sure got around slowly, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because they just had it on yesterday. I seen it. And then, of course, this is from, I don't know where from. The L.A. Times. Ron Carey was truly talented, very funny, one of the dearest men I've ever worked with. Brooks, who also cast Mr. Carey as Swiftest in the Roman-era segment of History of the World Part 1, said in a statement. I wonder if he was kin to Biggest...
Flavius.
Yeah. The 5'7" actor became a semi-regular on ABC's Barney Miller in '76. The second year of that sitcom that starred Hal Linden. I told you, I hated that show. Oh, I hated Hal Linden. He gave me spilkies.
It wasn't funny because of him.
Oh. And remained with the show until it ended in 1982. I'll find the theme from it here in a minute. Oh, here, it might be here. But it's not. What show is it, Barney Miller? Barney Fag? I'm not going to go reading the book by Barney Fag. Let's see. Oh, you got it already, so I have to potchkey around here. Good. Thank God for that. I got my quiz show themes here, though. See, I don't even like the theme. We got 1,015 votes, by the way. You can ease off now. You can relax. I mean, we'll take all the votes you got, but 1,015 will be... So it's just instrumental? There's no, like,
yeah, no, that's it. I mean, I like the beginning of it, but then it turns into jazz.
Oh. All that jazz.
Yeah.
By the way, Schmendrick across the street, Joel Feinberg's, you remember Good Times, which you hated that theme so bad? They got a theme for the ticket. It's called Bad Times. Now, let's see. Where's Good Times? Good Times. Oh, you hate it. That's why I'm playing it. Not to aggravate you, but just to try to prove that you're wrong, as usual. And the most amazing thing is I hated that show. I couldn't stand that show, but the theme is great.
I hated both of them. Theme and the show.
Oh, this part's great.
Underwater?
Wow. It just stopped.
Good.
It just stopped by itself.
Those were good times.
I think my Denon machine don't like it, man. Anyway.
I'm not the only one.
What about you, Chris? You don't like Good Times theme?
It's okay. Here's the only good version of Good Times.
Yeah. Oh. As Levitt, Mr. Carey was the patrolman who was eager to transfer into the detective squad. A former stand-up comic, he broke into his films playing a Boston cab driver in The Out-of-Towners, the 1970 comedy starring Jack Lemmon and Sandy Dennis. Mr. Carey's film credits also include playing Dom DeLuise's brother.
Get the honey, Junior.
In the 1980 comedy drama Fatso, which is written and directed by Anne Bancroft and was great. You saw it, right, Chris? Fatso?
Not yet.
Uh-oh. Maybe that'll inspire him to lose the rest of
I was on such a roll here, man. I was like on a jelly roll.
Told you this guy was no good.
Oh. At least he's consistent. There's something to be said for that. Mr. Carey, who also appeared in scores of commercials, took pride in being a supporting player and a character actor. He was a player. Stars are stars, he told Newsday in '89, but without us, the show wouldn't go on. He was born Ronald Joseph Cecinia. Or is that Cecinia? In Italian, it would be, I don't know. In 1935, December 11th, in Newark, New Jersey. He launched his stand-up career in New York after earning a bachelor's degree in communications from Seton Hall in South Orange, New Jersey. And he's survived by somebody, but it's chopped off in the bottom, whatever you faxed. I'm sure it was chopped off on your end, too.
Yes,
There's nothing worse when somebody chops off your end. 1,018 votes on the poll, baby. And, of course, at birth, they did that to me, and, boy, they really got carried away. Very unfair. I should sue them loyal. You know, I'm sure he's dead long since, but if I had the ability, I would do it.
Sue the estate.
The estate of the Moyle.
That's right.
What kind of a job is that anyway? You know, what kind of person wants to slice off foreskin?
All of it, like the proctologist who wakes up one day and goes, you know what? That's what I want to get into.
Rectum. Oh, I know a lot of guys who want to get into that.
No pun intended.
I say, get away from me. Get away. Get away. There are a few people out there I would do virtually anything for them, but guess what?
Rectum.
That's not one of them. No way, Jose.
What if it was really small?
No. I beg your pardon?
The request.
Oh. Who poses a greater threat to the human gene pool besides George? That's our poll question today. 1,000. Oh, there's Mr. Speaker, the president of the United. Look at all these Schmendricks there with Bush. Speaking of Schmendrick.
Oh, Congress.
Oh, tomorrow night's the big night. So have something planned for tomorrow. I do. Neocons 327. The average American Idol viewer 256. Almost 100 behind. And now people who watch poker on TV's got over 100, 104. Uh-oh. The average American Idol contestant, 77. Myspace.com members, 73, except for those of us select people who are wonderful folks. Just ask us, we'll tell you. The average WQM Sports Show caller, 69. Uh-oh. I hate this poll, 63, 6.1%. And the average Neil Rogers Show caller, a mere 50. 50 banana. And don't forget.
Get the honey, Junior.
Fashion models, sure they're beautiful and glamorous, but did you know that every night many go to bed hungry? Hi, I'm Sally Struthers for the Feed the Models Foundation. For just pennies a day, you can help feed a starving model like Nikki. I was too thin, but thanks to Feed the Models, now I can eat and eat and eat, but I still don't gain an ounce. I hate you, I really hate you, you skinny wench. When you sponsor a model, you'll get a letter of thanks, plus a photo that you know has been heavily airbrushed because nobody looks that good.
That's what you think, chubby girl.
Call Feed the Models today because I really don't know how much more of this I can take before I haul off and hit somebody.
Well, as long as you don't sit on me.
That's it! Ouch!
Feed the Models. If you don't act now, these women will go from slim to none.
Hello, I'm Carol O'Connor.
To close the album, our own song, we dedicate it to you then and to you now.
Now, you're a young person. Will you listen to me for a change?
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like me, we had it made. Those were the days. Didn't need no welfare state.
Everybody pulled his weight.
GRO was now rank great. Those were the days.
And you knew where you were.
Girls were girls and men were men. Mister, we could use a man like David Hooper again. People seem to be content. $50 paid the rent. Freaks were in a circus tent. On for the day.
The wheel of Sunday
Gotta watch the Dodgers win.
Have yourself a dandy day
That cost you under a pin.
Hair was short and skirts were long. Kate Smith really sold a song.
I don't know just what went wrong. Those were the days.
All right. Now, let's do the themes again, TV themes. We haven't done that in a long, long time.
You're right.
In Raccoon's age. Huh?
You're right.
What do you think?
Let's do it.
Let's do that for tomorrow, I'm thinking. Although I got all these other great polls now. That one that our regular new... We got all kinds of poll senders now, which is beautiful.
He missed something on this poll.
Yeah, what's that?
Well, she's not on there, so...
Oh, well, that could be interpreted more than one way, but I'm sure I get your drift.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think in your case it could only be interpreted one way. Oh, and speaking of the tree lady and some retardo out there who never wants to grow up.
This is Shirley Jones, working in the United States and overseas.
Ain't that sweet? All right. Somebody step on Danny Bonaduce, okay, before he multiplies.
Hello world,
I think it's too late.
Ugh.
come on, get happy. A whole lot of loving is what we'll be bringing. We'll make you happy.
You fairy. Okay, David, calm down. 1,045 votes on the poll. We're going to go over 1,100 today on a day when we just had kind of a weak start. That's because everybody was like passed out and drained from those football games yesterday. Especially the Patriots blowing that big lead against... I bet you a lot of the Dolphin fans were having a nervous breakdown, including Chris, when they had that 21-3 lead.
No, I just figured the game was over and I wasn't worried about it.
Oh. Well, look at this. Concerns about monopolies and fears of a possible fascist takeover of the U.S. media have prompted a Democratic congressman to push to restore the fairness doctrine, according to Raj Story. Media reform is the most important issue confronting our democratic republic and the people of our country, Representative Maurice Hinchey, Democrat of New York, said at the Free Press National Media Reform Conference held in Memphis, Tennessee last weekend. This is a critical moment in history that may determine the future of our country, maybe forever. Hinchey told Raw Story he plans to reintroduce the Media Ownership Reform Act, MORA, that would break up media monopolies and restore the Fairness Doctrine, which was eliminated by the FCC under the Reagan administration. Remember Ronnie Reagan? Fascista?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Fascista with the grease down hair and the Buster Brown shoe polish? If Rush shoots his mouth off, he must give equal access to our side, Hinchey said. The American public will begin to get both sides or all sides of an issue that is basic, fundamental to a democracy, he be saying. Last year, Hinchey introduced House Bill 3302, MORA, but Republicans blocked the measure in committee. He also founded the Future of American Media Caucus in Congress in 2005. With Democrats now in control of Congress, a new media reform measure is expected to be assigned to the House Energy and Commerce Committee within the next couple of weeks. Hinchey's staff be confirming. We'll be trying hard to get the subcommittee and the full committee chairman to bring this to the House floor, Hinchey pledged. A companion bill will be introduced on the Senate side by Bernie Sanders of Vermont. MORA would restore the Fairness Doctrine, reinstate a national cap on ownership of radio staciones, lower the number of radio stations that one company can own in a local market, and reinstate the 25% national cap on TV ownership, among other things. All of these things. The bill's no grandfathering provision would compel media conglomerates that invest to comply with new ownership limitations. MORA would also require public interest reports from broadcasters and require more independently produced programming on TV. In addition, it establishes new public interest obligations to assure that broadcasters meet the needs of local communities and requires increased sustained public input and outreach to give the people a voice in programming. But let me ask you one question. What does that have to do with sports?
Oh, nothing. So
and with sports
relevant, it doesn't matter.
Talk radio has become dominated by shows that are right-wing, even neo-fascist, he said, adding that even the best newspapers give readers a con job by reporting false information fed by the administration. This should make every single citizen in America deeply concerned, he told conference attendees. What lies will they tell in the future to jeopardize the Democratic Republic or even end this Democratic Republic? That's the objective of many of those involved. Fascista, fascista, comunista, batista. It's all these things. How's Fidel doing?
I heard he's dead.
Oh, no. Maybe it wasn't Ron Kerry that died. Maybe it was Fidel.
He should have listened to, Hyman Roth.
To Rocky Colavito. Who was it on that spot? Some goy, man. Too many.
What spot that? What spot?
The one where he said Rocky Colavito. I couldn't believe that.
I don't hear our spots.
Golly, Miss Molly. We're supposed to be a sports station. We got some schmendrick on there doing Rocky Colavito. I mean, granted, he's probably, hadn't played in about 100 years, but nevertheless.
So what's an ombudsman?
An ombudsman is a guy who's like, like a people's spokesman.
Oh, like your bud.
Who's that?
Oh, it's on the CNN International there.
Yeah, but what's that got to do? Oh, yeah, that, like your bud.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about one of my
ombudsman.
So yeah, they're right, like the people's buddy. That's right, an ombudsman who's like goes to bat for the people and like when they get screwed, which is all the time, and don't even feel good. I'll tell you one thing, the phone is nice and quiet on a Monday. I'm not prepared on a Monday for a whole lot. Oh, now I looked at it, and as soon as I said that, it's almost like we have no delay. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. Okay, like I said, why did I look over there? That was a bad move on my part. WQAM, hello. Oh, wow. It must be lunchtime, huh, for the retards. They must have let them out. Maybe Nurse Ratchet's on call. WQAM, hello.
Does Gnarls Barkley know Charles Barkley and Denny?
WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Neely, baby.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, you're not a real caller now, are you?
Yes, sir.
Well, how do you like that? Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, just wanted to let you know, I got a new baby, 3-month-old boxer.
Yeah.
And I know you're a dog man. You love dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And just so you know, man, I am baked.
Well, that sure qualifies him to call this show, I'll tell you that. He is baked. I sure hope the dog don't wind up in a microwave, and he'll wind up being baked with him. Wouldn't that be bad? He is baked. Well, congratulations, sir. That's all I can tell you. Congratulations. He's baked. Don't you think we ought to call everybody? Let's get it in the Sun Sentinel, okay?
All right.
To which I would say,
congratulations. Get a life.
Right. Northern Irish police protect. Look at that. Northern Ireland, Iraq, all over the world. There was good religions out there, man. They're doing it. And let me tell you folks out there right now, because I don't want to get back on a religious kick here today because it's Monday and whatever other reason, I might just... That's the one thing religions do better than anybody else.
Kill some people.
That's right. Usually a whole lot of them. 21 before 1 at 560 WQAM. We got the Mad Dog at 2, the Big Power Hour with Henry Goldberg and the Mad Dog together, 4 to 5, and then Hank Solo, 5 to 7. I never got to the rest of the schedule. I interrupted myself somehow, some way. Opening tip with Bimbo Coles. No wonder I never got to that point at 7 o'clock with some bimbo. And then we got Eddie K at 7:30 because we don't have the heat cam. But we got Eddie K on when actually a lot of you will be awake in broad nightlight, 7:30 to 10.
God, your breasts are beautiful.
Yes. Absolutely.
You fairy.
She's oily, soily, and old. Looks like the Quaker Oats guy. Smells from the body roll mold. Barbara Bush has Marty Feldman eyes. Both of her eyes popped out. It happened when she realized she raised more criminal crowds. Barbara Bush has Marty Feldman eyes. And she's nasty, old and crafty, and she raised more perfect Nazis. She's atrocious and takes umbrage to anyone who says they want no Bush. Walks like she's carrying a bowling ball between her thighs and has Marty Feldman eyes. She doesn't mean to talk, as if she's always surprised. Teeth wiggle when she talks. Barbara Bush has Marty Feldman eyes. She gave us George Bush and Jeb Bush, not to mention Bill and Robin Bush. Filthy, rich, and fat, and smells just like the magic sauce on a Big Mac. Barbara Bush resembles Ernest Borgnine on a bad day with Marty Feldman eyes.
12:46. Well, I haven't played that in a long time. You know, lots of stuff we haven't done in a long time. Like I said, crap. How do you like that, Joyce?
Ooh.
Yeah. A good day without a good crap is not a good day anymore. Right. President Bush, speaking of crap, faces the nation this week more unpopular than any president on the eve of a State of the Union since Richard Nixon, old Tricky Dixon, in 1974. Nixon was beleaguered by the Watergate scandal. For Bush 3 decades later, it's the war in Iraq, plus his general incompetence, of course. With his unpopular troop surge on the table, his job rating matches the worst of his presidency, 33%. This is what poll is this? ABC or whatever? 33% of Americans approve of his work in orifice, while 65% disapprove, 2-to-1 negative, matching his career low last May. He's feeling mighty low. Only 3 post-war presidents have gone lower. Jimmy Carter, Nixon, and Harry Truman. Only one has had a higher disapproval rating, and that was Tricky Dick. And now we got Tricky Dick Cheney. For Bush, the bad news just starts there. Dismay over the unpopular war is dragging him down across the board, from his personal ratings to his position vis-a-vis the resurgent Democrats. It's all a remarkable come-down for a president who shortly after 9/11 saw his approval rating soar to the highest for any president in polls since 1938. Today, by contrast, 71% of the ABC News Washington poll say the country's headed seriously off on the wrong track. Too loose la tracks, baby. Too loose la drac. The most since budget battles led to a highly unpopular government shutdown in the early 1966. Bush's war leadership clearly is the prime complaint. 64% called the war a mistake, more than said so about Vietnam during that war. The intensity of the sentiment, however, has only grown. 51% of Americans now strongly disapprove of Bush's job performance overall, a majority for the first time. Just 17% strongly approve, a 3-to-1 negative ratio. Through a partisan lens, 3/4 of Republicans continue to approve of Bush. Oh, how very sad. I wonder if Chris approves of Bush.
Nope.
But with much diminished vigor. There are only about half as many Republicans who strongly approve, 42%, as there are Democrats who strongly disapprove, 76%, and among 2 of his core support groups, conservatives and evangelical white Protestants,
Oi!
He's at career lows in overall approval. Oi is right. So let's see, Tom Dodd is running and Hillary is running. That goofball from Iowa that always runs that nobody ever heard of, he's running. and Barack is running. And who would I leave out? I'm sure I must have left somebody out.
I don't know.
Everybody and their brother's running. Here's a flight you probably didn't want to be on. The pilot of a Continental Airlines flight became ill after takeoff and later was pronounced dead after the plane made an emergency landing. The 210 passengers on the flight, which departed from Houston, Texas, were never in danger, and the co-pilot landed the plane safely. The airlines only said the pilot suffered a serious medical problem. Continental believes the pilot died of natural causes. That flight bound for Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, took off from Houston's George Bush Intercontinental Airport, was diverted to McAllen Miller in Houston. The flight continued to Mexico with a new crew. Well, they didn't die on the plane, but of course if they're going to Mexico, there's a good chance they won't come back alive. A little more advice from the old Grandpa Neil, okay? Don't go on cruise ships, number one, and don't go to Mexico no matter how you get there, number two. Do not do it. And speaking of number two, that's probably what you'll be doing a lot of time on either one of them. You know, cruise ship. How about a cruise to Mexico? How's that sound?
No, thank you. Chris can take my trip.
El Paso.
I've been on many cruises.
You have?
Not in the past 5 years, but yeah.
And why is that?
My dad's been in the cruise business for most of my life.
Oh! Boy, you are digging a hole so deep that they're never going to find your ass again. Remember those kids they found under John Wayne Gacy's house in the crawl space?
Oh, yeah.
That's where they're going to find Chris. He's going to be crawling in space.
Oh, you have to get thin enough to fit under there first.
My girlfriend's father.
His girlfriend's father.
Yeah.
His girlfriend's father. Oh, yeah, I can't wait to meet that bitch. I mean, WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello.
Who's this?
Who you calling?
Neil.
This is he.
This is Neil?
Yeah, this is Neil.
Neil, I want to know, do you pay these weirdos to call your show?
I beg your pardon?
do you pay these weirdos to call your show?
Yeah, $50.
Did you get a check?
Hello, this is Peter Graves. My little daily care isn't so much to ask, is it?
That's got to be in the running, doesn't it? Top 10?
I love that. You know, these are weird versions. We discussed that before.
I got other versions of them. There's a few virgins around. How about the Vestal virgins? What the hell was that all about? Who are the Vestal virgins?
Priestesses of the goddess Hestia.
And what is the whiter shade of pale anyway?
I don't know.
Sound like a drug thing to me.
Probably.
I did like Procol Harum, though. Conquistador was good. I realize it's got like nothing to do with the music today, but then again, is there any music today?
Some, if you look around.
If there is, I don't hear too much of it. And then, see, that's my being old me again, you know? There you go. Love that song. One of my all-time favorites, Whiter Shade of Pale. I have no idea what it's all about. That's because I'm an old fuddy-duddy. And the song is older than Methuselah, too. Older than Ishkabibble.
19...
Oh, I don't know, 66, 65?
Close, 67.
Oh, gee, going in the wrong direction. That's me, always going in the wrong direction. And if you did the talk about this one, it would be a real feather in my cap, you know? I know where it is. Don't you think I know where it is? Don't you think I know where to find it? Believe me, if it's out there, I'll find it. If it's good, I'll find it. Hopefully. Okay, that's enough. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
You were talking about Rocky Raisin. He was my teacher. I went to Shenandoah back in, 79.
Wow.
I would like to say.
He was a great guy. He was like one of those artsy-fartsy kind of teachers.
Yeah, you know what I liked about him? He was a science teacher. He was good. He got us entertained. But I can't tell you I learned a lot of things from him, you know? Other than, he was all right. I think it was room 304. And
well, I'll be damned, because I was at 305 East Shaw Hall at Michigan State. How do you like that? Those great numbers, man. There weren't too many great numbers in my dorm, though, thank God. I probably would have got in a lot of trouble. I told you that before. A lot of ugly kids in my dormitory. They probably, did that on purpose. Because they thought, if we put anybody hot in there, that faggot's going to go crazy and start, trying to grab onto guys and stuff. I'll tell you, very embarrassing. I mean, nothing actually happened, but it's just an admission again in my old age of what a pervert I am, okay? I'm sitting there at my machine yesterday at Woodbine, and a young couple comes in. Now, if you would have seen this chick, you would have gone crazy. I mean, she was just a knockout, okay? Okay. And her boyfriend was almost as pretty as she was, okay? You catch the drift of this? I'd say they're like early 20s. Huh?
Okay.
Early 20s. Well, it's very busy. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's very crowded. And I'm sitting there at my machine. And now I discovered that the two of them are standing almost directly behind me. And I know I shouldn't say this on the air, and you should stop me at this point. And the thought crossed my mind. Again, it's only a thought. You know, there is no law against thinking things.
Not yet.
Well, no, you're right. Your government in action, they're working on it. And I wanted to reach back and slide my hand between. I can't say it. You know what I'm thinking about.
I know what you're thinking.
Right between his legs, up to the And I thought, the thought for a half a second, not that I would certainly do it unless I wanted to get, number one, punched my lights out, and number two, dragged off and thrown in the hoosegow, but it just crossed my mind. And I thought to myself, man, you are a very, very perverted bastard, and I'm very happy about it. I'm proud of you.
Are.
Well, is that an abnormal thought? Of course not.
No. When I was at the Best
Buy
looking for
you
printer
went around and
cables
grabbed
yesterday.
on both of her knobs and just give them a little twist,
It was Brawless Sunday in Aventura yesterday, by the way, as I was looking for printer cables. Maybe that's why I didn't find any.
Yeah.
Because there was just other things to distract me.
Really?
So, and I felt like grabbing,
Yeah. The thought, I don't think that's ever crossed my mind before, is just reaching, it would have been so easy. He was standing right behind me. And then, as it turned out, whoever was playing next to me, the machine next to me, left, and he sat down there and put a 20 or 2 in there and was playing at that machine. And I thought, oh, gee, I hope you win and you don't ever leave. That's bad. That is very bad. You sound like some kind of a prevert, to which I would say...
Absolutely correct, sir.
That is right. And very proud of it, too, by the way. President Hugo Chavez of Venezuela returned to his weekly radio and TV broadcast yesterday, extolling the ideals of socialism, and said, go to hell to the U.S. for what he called unacceptable meddling in Venezuela's affairs. Go to hell. Isn't that great?
Oh, gee.
The National Assembly, controlled by the President's political allies, expected to give final approval this week to what it calls the enabling law, and allowing him to pass a series of laws by decree during an 18-month period. On Friday, U.S. State Department Deputy Spokesman Tom Casey said that Chavez's plans under law have caused us some concern. Well, too bad, Tom. Too bad. What he said, go to hell, Bush is an idiot. What do you call him, a moron, idiot, schmendrick? I think a schmendrick. And when Hugo Chavez calls you a schmendrick, you are a schmendrick. Make no mistake about it. I'm still waiting for my big email from Joe Bell saying, phenomenal job, boys, on the ratings, man. You guys are kicking serious, big, fat, nasty ass.
This is Scott Burrell. And when I'm up in Boca Chica slapping old women with painted lips around the pool, I listen to the Neil Rogers 1 to 2 hour. I listen to the Neil Rogers Fair and Balanced 1 to 2 hour.
It's been brought to my attention that your ratings are dying now. Well, that ought to show you what a big asset I was to you, and how. You thought you could find somebody good enough to fill my baggy pants? It ain't easy. There ain't no chance I'll ever be coming back. Outside of considering a lucrative contract. If you want to know what'll save you from shutting that transmitter down, why, that's easy. Sure.
All you need is more. All you need is more. All you need is a show that will blow.
A piece of old time slot only got you to thank. Despite that, my ratings have bottomed out in the tank. Which radio had the revolving door for the gayest of the woods and squeaky.
All you need is more.
Now see here.
All you need is more. All you need is a show that will blow.
Over here, you bite away something.
Yes?
Jack told me to give you this.
What?
You see? What are you going to do, fire me, huh?
Like old times.
I just can't get enough of that. I don't know about you, but I just can't get enough of that.
It's great.
It is great. It's a classic. 101 at 560 WQAM. How about some Coke Classic? What do you say?
No.
I don't think so. What is that new, what is it, one?
One what?
Yeah, Coke One.
Coke One. Now, what is that? It's got 1 calorie?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 1 calorie, and it's supposed, I guess, between the difference between regular and diet or something.
Didn't they already try that with Pepsi One?
Memphis police officers observed an attack on anti-Bush protesters, but drove away and failed to intervene. 2 activists who were on the scene told Raw Story. It's pretty raw. We were down on Beale Street late on Friday night. How do you like that? on Beale Street.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Maybe they named it after Jessica Biel, do you think?
No.
We were down on Beale Street late on Friday night, said Barbara Cummings, a peace activist with the Backbone Campaign, self-described as a grassroots effort to embolden citizens and elected officials to stand up for progressive values. Cummings, a grandmother from Spring Valley, California, had come to Memphis to attend the Free Press National Media Reform Conference, but believes her own free speech was curtailed while in attendance. As of yet, no report has been filed. A police department spokesman said they can't investigate the charge without a report. The Backbone Campaign had staged a march down Beale Street, the musical heart of Memphis, which included individuals representing President George W. Bush, Vice President Dick Cheney, Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, and former Defense Secretary Don Rumsfeld, but clad in prisoners' outfits. Another member accompanied the marchers while reading aloud a list of war crimes allegedly committed, alleged my ass, by the Bush administration. At first, Cummings recalled, we were very, very well received. People were smiling, taking pictures, and saying, thank you, thanks God. In the second block, we had a veteran in a wheelchair guiding us. I sensed rather than heard something going on. I couldn't get the mask off at first. Cummings continued, I saw arms and legs everywhere. Some guy came out of a bar and had blindsided us. He hit two members in the back of the head. One of the protesters took off his mask and struck back at his assailant, she noted. Then some bouncers came out of a bar and there was a melee. Finally, pulling off her mask, she said she saw legs and arms flying everywhere. Flying and flailing, no doubt. According to Cummings, another demonstrator interviewed by the Raw Story, a Memphis police car was parked at the end of the street, from which officers should have been able to see the frantic scene, but Cummings claimed the Memphis police officer took one look and they just drove away. Lori Perdue of Mooresville, Illinois, confirmed Cummings' account. What happened to protect and serve, she asked. These officers did not protect or serve, even like a little dessert. What's your thoughts? What do you think about dessert? Perdue, a former U.S. military information officer and current member of Veterans for Peace, acted as a guide during the march since the large mass can restrict the vision of the marchers. While serving in Turkey as a 19-year-old military police affairs officer, Perdue told Raw Story that she had witnessed Kurdish people fleeing from Iraq when Saddam Hussein gassed the Kurds, when he dropped that evil gas, like I did in the shower this morning. And boy, it was enjoyable. Oh, Machaya. I think that's one of my great fantasies, would be like to spend an hour every day farting in the shower, in a real hot, steamy shower. Oh, God.
Call that a power shower.
I've carried the memory all my life of women running up to us pleading, please help me, she said. They made us turn our cameras off, and our military did not. Perdue faults the U.S. government for failing to tell the public the truth about events in Iraq both then and now. According to both activists, after the Memphis police officers left, the scuffle concluded, the protesters walked away. However, a young Iraq war veteran who obviously been drinking was very emotional, then confronted the group. Why are you doing this to our president, the veteran asked. You don't understand what we've been through and what we've done. He then reportedly told the protesters that he harbored doubts about the president's role in 9/11 terror attacks. What if he did it, the vet asked rhetorically. According to Cummings, kind of like O.J., what if I did it? According to Cummings, a longtime peace activist who volunteers at military hospitals to assist wounded soldiers, but he's still the commander-in-chief. We thought we were killing Iraqis to protect you, he said. Right. Don't you see Iraqis on every street corner getting ready to attack your ass and give you the old gas?
They're coming at me. Look out.
Cummings added he was crying and incoherent. We said we love you and support the troops. We've had many young Iraq veterans who are our friends. I'm still active duty, don't know what to do, the young man reportedly told the activist. Cummings said we tried to hug him, but he pushed us away. Oh, I've had that happen. In fact, I'm sure that would have happened at Woodbine yesterday, right after the punch in the mouth. Isn't that how did I admit that? That was a disgusting thought. When you say that was not like lines. That. No.
Trust me.
We think, boy, I sure would like to, but not that specific, you know.
Sure we do.
Oh, okay. Well, then I better make up for lost time.
This girl in the Best Buy yesterday, I could tell you for an hour what I was thinking about doing right there.
If you would have seen this couple, man, at Woodbine, you would have been climbing on the machine, just grabbing for anything that you get your hands on. You would have been pulling the handle. The protesters put their masks back on to resume their march, but then Cummings recalled another guy hit me in the back of the head. I pulled off my mask, and he said, I didn't know you were a lady. I see. Oh, and by the way, speaking of whatever I was just talking about, perverted and disgusting.
Oh.
No, whatever happened to that thing that Clarence was supposed to send me? Huh? That Chris has already, have you had one of those presented to you?
No.
No. Is that just a fantasy, or are they too embarrassed to send me that? Because it would be extraordinarily embarrassing to send me something to fill out like I don't know anything about this business that I've only been in for about 400 years. Don't you think it would be just a little bit embarrassing?
Well, in this place, see, that's a relative term.
No.
A heads up, you know how much fines are in the Maxes.
I see.
But I didn't tell you that.
A wrong flight on a wrong airline. This story is it's from last week, but it's just, in my pile. It deserves, I like traveling, but I don't like the flying part. You know what I mean? In other words, I like when I get there and have a great time. I don't like all the chaos at the airport, getting on the plane, the boarding, the process. As the plane rolled down the runway, one passenger was bewildered when a flight attendant welcomed travelers aboard the Milwaukee-bound flight. Milwaukee? He thought he was going to New York. Turns out he had accidentally boarded the wrong flight on the wrong airline. Schmuck. And in today's post-9/11 climate, that's the sort of thing that can cause airport security to break out in hives. The whole thing was a simple human error, said Carol Skornicka, a spokesperson for Midwest Airlines. This fellow was in a rush, and the employees didn't check his destination thoroughly. Here's how airline officials described the problem. The passenger was not identified, was running late for his flight to New York's JFK Airport. He rushed to a Delta ticket counter to check in. After clearing security, the man scurried over to what he thought was his gate. Outside the jetway, he handed an employee his boarding pass. While some airlines use barcode technology to scan the tickets, Midwest does not. Skornicka said employees visually inspect the tickets. In this case, they allowed the man who held a Delta ticket to board the plane. He has a Delta ticket, he gets on a Midwest plane, okay? Wrong gate, wrong schmuck, an idiot. In this case, they allowed the man who held a Delta ticket to get on the plane. Happy to have made his flight, he took his seat in a deep breath. Like that. After the plane pushed away from the gate, the attendant welcomed the passengers to the Milwaukee-bound flight. The man sprang out of his seat. He jumped. Why did he jump? The pilot turned the plane around and returned to the gate. The man disembarked and went running for his New York-bound flight. End of story? Not quite. The Midwest captain ordered the plane emptied and inspected. A Broward Sheriff's Office K-9 team arrived but found no problems on board the aircraft. We checked the man's seat. Oh, I bet they did.
Wrecked him.
The lavatories, the overhead bins, Skornicka said, we were thinking we'd rather err on the side of caution. After half an hour, the plane was cleared for departure, arrived in Milwaukee only 45 minutes late. As for the wayward passenger, he made his Delta flight to New York. Let's hear it for the wayward passenger. Oh! A moron, man. A schmuck, a schmendrick, if there ever was, an idiot. How do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what happens. I mean, every time you fly, not every time, but most of the time, there always are those stragglers. There are people like me who are professionally early, you know what I mean?
All right.
Compulsively early. I'd rather get there early, sit down, get a newspaper, drink a soda, whatever, and just relax, as opposed to these other crazy people who are rushing. If there's one thing to be brushing, another thing to be rushing.
Rushing.
1,103 votes on the poll. Not too shabby, if you ask me. I bet you even Chris is mildly impressed.
I love it.
Who poses a... I'm just going to pretend I didn't even hear that. I think he's practicing now to be sitting on the other side of the phone. He wants to be a caller now.
Well, if it gets slow, you know.
Hey, it can only help.
Yeah, couldn't be any worse. In fact, today it could be an improvement. Who poses a... Have we had actually one real call today or not?
Yeah, the guy who was the student of that person. Squirrel or whatever.
The student of the squirrel who lost his nuts? I don't know what you're talking about.
The guy who called and said he was the student of that art teacher or whatever that used to come on your show.
Rocky Raisin.
Yeah,
Rocky Raccoon.
Squirrel,
Rocky Squirrel. Oh, brother. So I guess Rocky's not with he must sleep with the fishes now, huh? Yeah, his claim to fame was he was a science teacher who had like a really different approach to teaching and wanted the kids to have a lot of fun and yada yada and whatever that was. I used to have him as a guest on my show back in the day, about 100 years ago when I used to do those. And I apologize if there's anybody still alive who remembers those shows. I'm sorry. Nobody's perfect. Neocons represent the biggest threat to the human gene pool, 355, nobody even close. The average American Idol viewer, 281. People who watch poker on TV, 109. Uh-oh. The average American Idol contestant, 84. Myspace.com member, 79. Shame on you. The average QM sports show caller, 74. I hate this poll, 66, 5.9%. And the average Neil Rogers show caller, 55, which may increase after this hour.
Well, let me tell you something, my Kraut Mick friend.
Increíble.
I think I forgot something. I'm not really sure. Wonder what is missing. Oh, breezy, nothing under my dress. And the photographs all over the press. To have no common sense is, oh, it's just so typically me. I'm breezy Britney. Where's my underwear? I put on a pair. No completely exposed. Don't think I'm a hoe. I'm just an idiot. Where's my underwear? Something I missed. Please help me, parents. Oh, breezy, breezy, oops, all over the web. My comeback is dead. I'm such an idiot.
Yeah, no argument here. Anybody that was cohabiting with that sleaze bag, that Kevin, oh my God. Oh.
Yo.
Yeah. Kevin, yo, go away. 116 at 560 WQM. Mad Dog at 2, then the Power Hour between 4 and 5. How'd that Power Hour do? A big number?
No.
No. In fact, none of the sports. In fact, I think the Humper. Where was the breakdown here? Where's the hour by hour? There's some parts of the day, if you put the two sports stations together, it's still an embarrassing. Well, it's just the way it is, you know. Like Matty Bell would tell you, or was it Ray Perry? I'm sorry. Sorry, Matty. You're an idiot, but, not that dumb. Like Ray Perry once told you, if we just had more sports stations, it would bring a lot more people to sports talk radio. And that's because these are people who really believe that there are as many sports, that there are so many people out there like them. Right. You know, people who idolize OJ and want him to sign their jockstrap, stuff like that.
They program to themselves.
That is precisely correct, sir. But I heard a rumor during the lunch hour, as a matter of fact, not that I had any lunch, but I heard a rumor.
We're number one, damn it!
And I'm still waiting for that guy to come in there and just pat you on the back so hard your teeth fly out. Wouldn't that be great? Should the Supreme Court overturn Roe v. Wade? This is the national CNN poll. 62% no, 29% yes. How do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Overwhelming support. You know, this is the government that we got now that wants to turn the clock back 50 years. Let's get prayer back in the schools. If we could get the kids just to read the Bible, like the Muslims do, like them ragheads, read that Quran. Brainwash them real good and give them that magic flying carpet. Baruch atah. Oh, brother. I still think that it was one of the great moments. I didn't realize it at the time, At the time, it seemed rather insignificant. I'm 13 years old. Got my Mr. Batinsky, my bar mitzvah tutor. My tutor. I like that movie, by the way.
That was
Matt
a good movie,
Pansy was in it.
Something for everyone.
But anyway, he's telling me about the Bible this and the Bible that and the Torah, and he said to me, it's all bullshit. And I thought, hey, that makes sense to me. And from that moment on, I realized this is a biblical scholar.
Mm-hmm.
This is a man who could, he even knew who Yitzchak Schmendrick was. Wait till you hear this. This just... An op-ed in yesterday's Washington Post asks the question, what if it had been President Jeb instead of George Bush? Oh, talk about a fat ass idiot. Today would have marked his 6th State of the Union address, and it might have been his best yet, theorizes S.V. Date, Tallahassee bureau chief for the Palm Beach Post, and author of Jeb, America's Next Bush. Oh, good God.
Oh, my
That's
God.
all we need is more of that. No more Bush. Don't have to say a thing. The nation is in great shape. President Jeb Bush would have reported record tax cuts propelling the economy to greater heights, a revolutionary school vouchers program for the first time granting low-income parents real education choices, and 5 years after the capture of Osama bin Laden, the final 20,000 U.S. troops returning home from Iraq. He continues. Date adds, I've covered Jeb Bush for 8 years as a state capitol reporter, and I'm convinced he remains the GOP conservative wing's best hope for a post-Iraq comeback. And his own political ambitions burn as brightly as ever. Perhaps 2012 or 16, or why not, maybe even 2008 if things break right, he says. This guy who's obviously doing way too many drugs. Magic mushrooms, I believe. According to Date, Jeb Bush doesn't do defeat. Jeb and WR are 7 years apart, but have much in common, that's for sure. They're both major a-holes. Both are stubborn. Both appear convinced that anything the government does, the private sector can do better. Both are enamored of tax cuts for the rich. And both seem to believe that voters don't have the right to observe the workings of their administration and should simply trust them to do the right thing. You know, those devious plans he had?
Oh, yeah.
However, the two display real differences on issues spanning crisis management, fiscal policy, foreign policy, and perhaps most important, personal style. Although, W's got the drunken daughters, and of course Jeb's got the daughter with a nose problem. Jeb pays much more attention to detail than his brother and is far more dogged and competent in advancing his agenda, meaning that a Jeb presidency over the past 7 years would have been distinct from his brother's, and a future one would be as well. Boy, I sure hope I croak before that happens. Man. You know something? That should be a good poll to take someday. One of the positives about dying is that you won't be around to see blank,
Right.
The global floods, the Great Flood. Hey, you better call Noah and get him to work on that ark.
Oh, you might be around to see that.
You think? Maybe next week.
Right, it could.
In Rochester, we had a chain of appliance stores, and it was called Noah's Ark. That a lovely thing. There's a little trivia for you, all you Rochesterians out there. Remember the day, back in the day. See, that's one of the... In fact, there are a lot of cities where nostalgia is really great, because that's when those cities were great, and now they suck. Like Rochester and Detroit. I mean, Boston's okay now, but it's a shadow of what it used to be. Boston was great. Ever been to Boston? I think I've asked you this 100 times.
No.
And you always say no. Well, why not? Get out there and travel, you people, and do not go to Mexico. I'm telling you right now.
No.
And you people that are thinking about going to Mexico, I'm going to come to your house and paddle you I'm going to beat you with a whip. 1,122 votes on the poll. We made our 1,100 easy. In fact, if we'd have really put on the big press, we might have made 12. But I don't like the pressure. Too much pressure, not good. WQAM Nutline. Hello. Okay, well that's one. That may be even the second best one, next to the squirrel guy. WQAM. Hello.
Hi, Neil. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for making your call, sir.
The mock draft, I know it's a little bit away. They picked ninth, right? I was crunching some numbers.
Yeah, pick this. That sounded like your buddy.
It was.
Oh, then why was he on there so long? Chris.
Who's his buddy?
WQAM, hello.
Hello, Reverend Smedley.
A crazy person, that's who it is. Maybe you can explain it to Chris during the break while you're beating him over the head with that
Oh, it's all right.
WQAM, hello.
He'll get to know them more.
Yes, he will. He will. See,
their voices and their dreams.
I will say this. He's real quick on that button, boy. He can really move that finger. That's what Duff said. QAM, hello.
Mike?
Yeah? Huh? Okay, I guess that was it. Out of material. WQAM, hello.
First-time listener, long-time caller. Looking at that picture on your page, what's up with that?
What's up with what?
When is that, how old is that thing?
What, the picture with the fat face?
Yeah! About 30, man. Oh, man. Is there any full-length body shots on it?
Yeah, thank God, no. Thank you. Boy, what a grotesque thought that was. Yeah, that sounded a little like that. Wasn't him.
Okay.
That wasn't him, and I already dropped him, but this thing, it's offtourus. It works when it feels like it. It's kind of like some people I know. They, work when they feel like it. Just like me. I should be getting paid extra today. I'm doing like about 3 shows for the price of 1. But something, the pay is not too bad. And the sun is breaking through today, and there's not too much snow out there. It's the 22nd of January. I'm telling you right now, there is no such thing as global warming. It's just another one of them commie pinko propaganda pieces. And what about that Elliot Rodriguez, huh? Trying to get alimony out of his wife.
Funny.
Isn't that a funny story? And the funniest part, of course, is about that line about, he didn't do better because he has no ambition. He lacks ambition.
Ay, qué pena.
I think what he lacks is talent, if you ask me. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think so. I think he lacks talent. Well, look at that. It's -5. It's like, it's getting close to maybe 25 or 26. I don't know. See, the pluses I know real well on the conversion between whatever it is, Fahrenheit and Celsius. But when it comes to the minuses, I mean, -1. -1 is...
About 30, man.
Yeah, because 0 is 32. It's freezing. -2 is 28. But then after that, I get a little fuzzy and hazy and like that, And I used to be so damn great. When I was in school, man, I was a genius. I was a mathematical wizard. I had 99 Algebra 3.
Wow, I could not do math. Algebra and geometry and all that stuff, yeah, it's the basic stuff that daunts me. Trig, yeah, whatever. It's formulas, it's just those basic equations like double digits adding.
Look at all the time they wasted in the school teaching us all that crap.
I know.
The Pythagoras, whatever that
the
crap.
Pythagorean theorem.
Right, that is
A squared
exactly
plus
right.
B squared equals C squared.
Right, who gives a flying crap? Okay, what?
Pythagoras.
I mean, they would say that it makes your mind work, it gives you the ability to get out of here.
Something else that makes my mind work too.
Yeah, just like me at Woodbine yesterday. Boy, I wanted to reach there and lend that young man a hand. But that's a disgusting thing to say. I can't believe I said that. Although lately, you'll notice I say whatever the hell's on my mind. Why the hell not, Why not? Am I going to, hurt my image? Am I going to, ruin my image as an old pervert fag? Well, what the hell difference does it make? I don't give a crap what anybody else thinks. See, that's another message for all you punks out there. Do not live your lives based on what you think to try to impress other people. You know what I'm saying?
What are you saying?
I'm saying don't try to live your life according to what you want other people to think. It's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of hogwash is what it is. So anyway, I'm sitting there at my machine. Oh, man. Well, something, if it looks good, try to grab it. That's think about it. Don't actually do it. I'm not suggesting you should actually do it because you're going to wind up getting a knuckle sandwich, okay, buddy? And that would be really bad, okay?
Okay.
It would be. Get a knuckle sandwich there would be. It knocked me off my good machine, man. Actually, it turned out not to be such a good machine, man, yesterday. Saturday was okay. It was fine. And then yesterday they take it back. They give and they take. They give and they take. It's the old in and out. They give a little out and then they take it all back and then a little extra if they can. You notice how there just doesn't seem to be the buzz. I thought it would be. I mean, that article we had on Friday about all the money that the slots are pulling in for the state, much more than they anticipated ahead of predictions. But there doesn't seem to be yet the buzz about it. I don't hear too many people talking about it. Although I do hear some people saying, well, at least it's a breath of fresh air that we got like real slot machines instead of having to play that bingo crap first.
It's Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the hockey authority, Neil Godd.
Oh, Paulie won't see him no more.
First, Marlon Brando was the Godfather. Then Al Pacino was Godfather 2 and 3. Now, get ready for the ultimate Godfather. Godfather 4.
Godfather, you must help me. These are goons that are coming in and burning my house down, and they're hurting my family. Maybe you could order a hit or something.
Talk about hit? I'll tell you about hit. Coffee super bad. Make it feel good. You get up like a sex machine. Tell them gotta give it up. Turn it loose. Get on the good foot. Make them bring out a cold sweat. Have them say, please, please, please. Ow!
Godfather, pardon me, but you just don't look like any of the other Corleones.
Corleone, ravioli, macaroni. Ain't gonna be none of that. Go have some soul food. Try that chitlins, greens. Gotta make it break out the cold sweat. Go forward. Ow!
The Godfather 4, starring James Brown. The Godfather of Soul. He'll make you an offer you can't understand.
That's the dead Godfather of Soul. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm the only person in the world that was not a big James Brown fan. It goes to show you, I'm out of touch. I'm out of step with the rest of the human race, and I'm pretty proud of that. 1,140 votes on the poll. Not too bad. Not shabby. There's your president, by the way, with the troops.
In office, Americans are very, very negative toward this president.
Well, thank God for that. There's Bill Schneider. Get a haircut, Bill, will you please? Wait till you hear this. Now, wasn't it Bush 1 that was doing the skydiving and stuff,
Yes, it was.
And unfortunately, he made it. A 68-year-old skydiver apparently suffered a heart attack or a stroke during a weekend jump and was dead when he reached the ground in Zephyr Hills.
DOA?
DOG. Dead on the ground. Johnny Gates of Lakeland made no effort to deploy his primary parachute as he fell to the ground Saturday. Maybe it was a suicide. His reserve parachute opened as designed at 800 feet, but Gates was dead when he touched down, one would think. T.K. Hayes, manager of Skydive City in Zephyr Hills, says video shows Gates apparently twitching as he fell. He was twitching. Spastic. It was an out-of-the-ordinary movement, Hayes said. An autopsy to be performed to determine what killed Gates. He was a fixture at the airport and made more than 1,000 jumps in 25 years of skydiving. He was an icon, and now he's a dead icon. How do you like that? More than 1,000 jumps, and then one too many. 1,000 was good, but 1,001 not good. Mm-hmm. Not too good. Tom Vilsack, that's the guy from Iowa.
Who?
Tom Vilsack, exactly. Nobody ever heard of him. Nobody has any. Even he don't know who he is. And he's running for president. And there's Barack Obama, America's next president. Oh! All right, Barack, you go, man. And then they keep showing these different polls, and one shows Hillary's way ahead, and then they just showed one. Oh, there's John Edwards, that's Sam Brownback. He looks just like John Edwards.
Sam Brown shirt?
Goose-stepping Sam Brown shirt. John Edwards. That's another one I keep forgetting to mention. You want to know why? Because he's very forgettable. Boring. Oh, my God, is he weak. Pathetic. Oh, I don't hear a fax coming over there, do I?
Yes.
Let me reach right back and get it. It says, Neil on fire en fuego. See? That sounds like...
Flaming!
Been listening, grinning and scratching for 3.5 hours. Man, it's good to have Uncle Neil, the real stream of consciousness Neil, back and firing on all cylinders. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Well, that's because I'm down to 185. I got my weight down, baby, and now I got a little bit of energy. Once I get in the 170s, I'm going to be so dangerous. This show is going to be smoking. You'll see. You will see.
Nice.
That's correct. In fact, I'm even more enthusiastic. I'll take it a step further.
Very nice.
That's right. Ooh. Very nice, not just nice.
Wow.
On fire. And the reason for that being that I've lost the weight, I'm enthused, and I got all kinds of crap going on here on this computer over here, and it's just put me in a good mood. I'm doing shows for 600 different people over here, at least 2 in particular. Well, I mean, all the other ones listening as well. You know, I don't want them to think, well, you're just entertaining all your friends on there. And yeah, well, that's part of it. Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of flying stuff, well, what do you mean? Mm-hmm? What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I'm here to entertain, man. I'm easy.
That's right. I'm downloading porn.
Good for you. I'm thinking about that couple at the Woodbine last night. Oh, brother. A 9-year-old boy with a history of stealing cars and running away sneaked onto a plane bound for Texas, getting caught after flubbing an airport connection. This is in Lakewood, Washington. Samaj Booker. Sounds Indian to me, man. And Indians don't say man. But anyway, apparently obtained a Southwest Airlines boarding card and made it through airport security last week, hopping two separate flights, but landing in San Antonio, Texas, short of his Dallas destination. The 4th grader remained in juvenile custody in San Antonio. He had been trying to get his grandpa in Dallas, where he used to live. The airline said in a statement, a young man approached the ticket counter at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport requesting a boarding pass and said his mother was already in the boarding area. The young man's information matched a paid, ticketless reservation for the flight. Based on the information he gave us, he was issued a boarding pass, the airline said. He was not listed as a child because he told the agent he was 12 years old. Maybe it was that 29-year-old guy. Well, let me ask you, can you tell the difference that easily between 9 and 12? I would think you could, couldn't you?
Between 9 and 12?
Yeah,
unless they got some of those weird growth illnesses, you know, like the kids have sometimes.
They got a weird growth?
Illness.
Oh. Airline employees in San Antonio stopped Samaj from boarding another flight when he couldn't explain why he didn't have a boarding pass for that flight, said David Hebert Hoover, spokesman for the San Antonio International Airport. The boy was unhappy after his family moved to Lakewood outside Tacoma. His odyssey began Sunday when he stole a car that was left running out outside a neighbor's house, only to be spotted by police near the interchange of I-5 and State Route 512, authorities said. Police pursued Samaj at speeds of up to 90 miles an hour until he took an exit and the engine blew, after which the car went over a curb and coasted into a tree. He refused to come out of the car, so officers broke a window to unlock the door and immediately recognized him as a frequent runaway and a car thief. He was released to his mother, but he ran away again, authorities said. The Pierce County, Washington prosecutor filed 3 charges against Booker on Wednesday in juvenile court, all related to the vehicle theft. The charges were sent to San Antonio, but they weren't sure what the next step would be. Last month, the boy crashed a stolen car before being caught by police in Tacoma. More recently, he was caught in Seattle in a stolen car that had run out of gas. The mother believes he learned to drive from playing video games on a PlayStation.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Some of you kids out there, some of you punks that are playing a PlayStation, God only knows what kind of aberrant behavior you're going to be like.
They should be illegal.
What is it?
They should be illegal.
What's that, PlayStation?
Yeah, anything that anybody ever got a bad idea from should be illegal.
Oh, you're starting to sound a little wacky yourself
and any device that anyone ever used to hurt someone else.
Right, like a knife.
Like a pen, a rock.
Right.
That should be illegal too. Cars.
Right. Fingers.
Illegal. Right. Fingers, chop them off, chop them.
I think that's what I would have gotten yesterday, like 2 fingers in the eye. I mean, how come such thoughts cross your mind? You know what I mean? I'm not apologizing for it, and I'm not really embarrassed about it. I'm embarrassed.
Jimmy Carter can admit it. You can too.
But that wasn't just lust. That was disgusting.
Oh, what do you think lust is? People don't think, hey, I just am lusting.
It's one thing to sit there and think, boy, there's a hot couple, man. I'd sure like to, do it. But that's one thing. But to actually think of a specific thing like that, of reaching back and running my hand up in between his pantaloons, what kind of a disgusting, foul, vulgar thing is that? I wonder if that's going to be on that exam. I don't think they're going to send it. I'm not going to. And I still don't see that email from Joe Bell. I was positive. I see 80 million other emails, and I'm very happy to see every one of them, but I don't see any from... oh, wait a minute. Here you go. Here's a new one. Let's see if it's from... Old Smoky Joe. No, it is absolutely not. It's from actually somebody I like. 21 before 2 at 560 WQM. Our
find out about a better...
Oh, God.
Our home and native grass. High potency will mock you on your ass. With bloodshot eyes, munchies by our sides, we reclaimed your gold, you see. It's a legal drug according to the good old IOC.
All right.
God made this week glorious
have a hockey game after that.
Game of inches. That's incredible.
Michigan State 4 and whoever the hell they're playing. How do you like that? Good old Spartans, man. Good old. Do you think I care about the Spartans? Of course not. Well, there's Daryl Sittler. He was the answer to that trivia question that schmuck thought he had me stumped on the other day. You think I don't know my Maple Leaf trivia, mister? 10 points in one game against the Boston Bruins. Daryl Sittler, 5 goals. Who are you kidding, mister? There's Daryl. Isn't that a beautiful thing? You wouldn't know Daryl Sittler from Adolf Hitler.
Who?
Shame on you. Exactly.
From Hitler's mother.
Well, there you go. That was the answer that somebody on the Myspace thinks, he's an expert, Neil, we're going to test you with some trivia. I mean, ask me something difficult, okay? Like what kind of a bow tie was Foster Hewitt wearing in 1932 in the first game at Maple Leaf Gardens? Ask me something like that. What color was the bow tie, schmuck? Not who scored the most points. Give me a break. Last week, I don't know if you saw this story. A white F-Ford 150, a light green Volkswagen Golf, and an electric blue Corvette. Oh. These vehicles were not lined up in an auto showroom, but they were pulled out of a murky canal in southwest Broward last week as part of an operation by BSO and the National Insurance Crime Bureau. That's BS. Oh! Nearly 24 BS drivers spent the day underwater in a canal along Griffin Road between US 27 and Bonaventure Boulevard in Weston. Bonaventure. The divers pulled up 31 vehicles, 27 of which have been previously reported stolen, according to BS. Oh! How do you like that? Mm-hmm. The other 4 were still being traced. 14 of the 27 stolen cars were found with the keys in the ignition. None of the vehicles was connected to any other crimes, according to the Sheriff's Office. Among the recovered vehicles, see if you want any of these, a 64 Ford T-Bird, a 77 Triumph.
Those are nice T-Birds.
A 77 Cadillac, and several newer model cars, trucks, SUVs, according to the BS. Oh! The vast majority of cars dumped in canals are insurance fraud cases, BS spokesman Elliot Cohen said. Most of the time, it's people that don't want to pay their car payments no more, said Joseph Castro. Castro's dead. A special agent with the National Insurance Crime Bureau. Then they file a false police report claiming their car was stolen. But the recovery operations could serve another purpose, finding missing people. In May, divers found the body of 18-year-old Matthew Sterling in the front seat of his red Ford F-150, submerged in the canal not too far from the canal the investigators searched Wednesday. Sterling had been missing for 6 months. Jesus. His family has made it their mission to help other families find lost ones in canals and other waterways. He'd been missing for 6 months, and he was in a canal in a car, dead. Remember that movie, Christine? I'm sure you do. We've talked about that 80 million times. Absolutely. What's that punky, ugly kid who was also in Dressed to Kill? The kid with the glasses.
Oh, I forget.
But John Stockwell was in Christine.
Right.
Oh, boy, I like that movie a lot. Mostly him. The family teamed up with Dinora Perry, founder of Missing Children International Ministries, an organization that uses volunteers to look for missing children. On January 6th, the volunteer groups conducted a search along the C11 South New River Canal spanning a mile and a half west of Bonaventure Boulevard. Volunteers located 6 cars, information that was later shared with the BS. Oh! Said Allison McManus, Sterling's aunt. I don't say aunt. I just can't do it. I know it's very gauche to say aunt, but I can't say aunt.
You could, meet it halfway. Auntie
McManus, who stood on the bank of the canal Wednesday as tow trucks pulled up car after car, said she was pleased that the BS was finally doing the right thing. It's about time, she said. I'm glad they're making sure that no one is in those cars. Cohen said the agency's operation was not planned in response to the findings by the McManus group. This was originally planned for November, he said, but was postponed due to the death of Deputy Brian Tepford. He was gunned down in November after a traffic stop in Tamarack. I have no idea what that has to do with this, but nevertheless. Cohen said BSO will continue working with the National Insurance Crime Bureau to organize similar operations throughout Broward to retrieve submerged cars. Isn't it amazing? All these people that go fishing in the canals. Oh, I just pulled up a 64 T-Bird.
Hey, that'd be something for a change.
It would be something. 1,167 votes on the poll. And by the way, we've been on almost the whole 4 hours today. And one thing I don't think I bothered to mention today.
We're number 1! Damn it!
You're just too humble, so you should remind people of that.
Yeah. Well, in case you missed it just now, let me say it again.
We're number 1! Damn it!
Sounds very like I'm patting myself on the back. But since nobody else there really wants to do it except Duff, she was in it this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, congrats. And he was really ripping the rest, but I don't want to say that. That's bad. I want to get him in hot water. Wouldn't be the first time, though. I hear he likes it in hot water. 1,167 votes on the poll. Another one of our award-winning polls. And now that one for tomorrow, I think I'll save the themes.
All right.
Well, no, because this one is so good. Don't you agree?
I do agree. And
this guy is a roll with his poll, whoever this is.
Please write in my spouse.
Okay.
Before you fax it along.
Let's see, my spouse.
Because he's got the X's on there. It's like, what about your current?
Well, what do you mean? Oh, I see. And I hate this. Okay, this is going to be very easy. I love these kind where they like type it all out, and then all I have to do is just put a 1 or 2, a 1 and 2, a little Lawrence Welk on there, and then fax it to Fat Eric, and we're all set. Now, did you ever figure out what Eric was telling you about the why it won't print that word on there?
No, he sent me a link to the forum when they were discussing it, but I didn't read a word of it because, I just don't care.
And see, you didn't believe me. I told you that, and so you tested it and come to find out.
It's not that I didn't believe you. It's just
and one of my online best buddies there didn't believe me either, and he printed it out.
It was
very
weird,
bizarre. It's just one of those things. I don't know why. I mean, is there something sinister or subversive about the word online?
There must be.
Huh? At Publix, I don't like being online, or at Walgreens. God forbid. Who poses a greater threat to the human gene pool? That's our poll today. 1,171 votes on there. Neocons, 374. Chubmalendreerd. Lunatics. Maniacs. Butchers. Crazy people. The average American Idol viewer, 302. People who watch poker on TV, 114. Uh-oh. The average American Idol contestant, 89. Myspace.com members, 84. The average QM sports show caller, 78. I hate this poll, 67. And the average Neil Rogers show caller, 63. That's because they haven't heard all the good calls we had today. You'll see. WQAM, hello. See, what was wrong with that?
Nothing, that was great.
Wasn't too bad. Sounded nice and pristine to me. QAM.
It puts Tom Brady in the basket.
WQAM, you leave Tom Brady's basket alone, okay? QAM, hello.
You gay.
You stupid. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Stop it, you got your...
Boy, he sure vanished fast. I'll tell you, Chris, one thing about Chris, man, rip him if you want, and deservedly so for a lot of things. But he's got a very fast finger.
Rectum.
That's what I heard. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, you had a hockey question Thursday. I believe the answer was Montreal Canadiens. Guy Lafleur.
Guy Lafleur, not Guy Lafleur. Guy Lafleur, yeah, Guy, as in...
Gay.
Okay, yeah, you won. You won a trip to Frog City, schmuck. 152 at QM, there's...
Good news, ladies and gentlemen. We have finally located weapons of mass destruction. It's Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney tried to help out and accidentally shot a guy with a nail gun.
All men should celebrate their women. They should all jump on couches for them.
Britney Spears is pregnant again. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have made a formal request to the world's journalists to leave them alone while they're in Africa.
If Paris Hilton had a concussion, how would you know?
Rolling Stones guitarist Keith Richards is recovering from a really bad weekend. He fell out of a tree and crashed a jet ski all in the same day.
You know the worst part about this heat wave across the country is Al Gore walking around going, I told you so.
Former Playboy playmate Anna Nicole Smith may be pregnant. Star Jones has been fired from The View, effective immediately.
More legal trouble for pop star Michael Jackson.
Mel Gibson speaks about the night that changed everything.
Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez calling President Bush the devil.
What do you think of me?
Bin Laden had a bit of a crush on, yikes, Whitney Houston.
And it's the moment Paris Hilton's diehard fans have been waiting for. Her debut album hit stores today.
Florida Congressman Mark Foley writing a book. The book will be about 400 pages. I don't know how long the book is, but the book will be about 400 pages.
The man who the world knew as the crocodile hunter was attacked by a stingray.
President Bush is so angry at North Korea, he's told our celebrities not to adopt any children from that country.
Pamela Anderson and Kid Rock each filed divorce petitions from one another.
Britney Spears' Kevin Federline divorce could get even hairier.
It's a new book called If I Did It. O.J. Simpson details how the killings would have gone down if he had anything to do with them.
My name is Borat. In my country, they would go crazy. For these two.
Not so much. The little African boy Madonna is adopting arrived at her home today. Kid was a little intimidated because when he got there, she was hanging on a cross.
I'm very, very sorry to the African American community for the upset.
I knew it was the last 7 limoncellos that was going to get me.
Miss USA Tara Conner keeps her job. Donald Trump this morning said he fully intended to fire her today, but decided not to.
Nicole Richie arrested for driving under the influence. Police say she was going the wrong way.
Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. I mean, both inside and out. You take a look at her, she's a slob. She talks like a truck driver.
While music fans around the world are dealing with the sudden loss of music icon James Brown.
Bye.